All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Got Wicked in here, Ronan, Fly on Bread, G3P, Darkomon, Daniel. What's up, guys? Oh man, this high elf theme getting pretty intense here. Hello, hello. What's up, Reaper? Waiting on the bracket to be finalized here. Looks like the brackets are final, so let's go ahead and have a look at the first round matchups, see who we're going to be checking in with. Just looking at things now. Looks like we have a few of the first round matchups popping up, so, oh man, this music is a little aggressive. I might change to another one here. It's fine for now. What's up? Hey! Got Oren, Mole Spaghetti, Callahan. What's the dressing? It's a special red balsamic, as you can see there. So, yep. Just getting some spectator slots set up. Yeah. Sorry about that. Good morning. Good morning. Blood red. Yeah, exactly. Blood red balsamic vinegar. Alright, so we're going to be jumping in there. And we're actually going to be joining Turin here in the first round. Turin actually has joined the tournament, so we are going to be getting started with him, I believe. Okay, I think that's quite enough of that. Silly high elf music. You know what, let's just go to the next track. That's what we want to hear. Doom King's music. Yeah, Turin indeed, the man, the myth, the legend. Yeah, we'll see. Currently waiting on Turin's opponent here. Guess we can get this other thing set up while we're waiting. Go ahead and change that. And what should we do? Let's find a good one here. Let's see here. Just waiting on things. Yeah, Mole Spaghetti, yes, that is the case. I do think sometimes you'll hear your opponent's faction's music as well, but yeah. Yeah, high elves. High elves are silly. Let's be real. High elves are silly. You know what? It's the salad cup, right? What's that? Let's just do that. Okay, yep, that works. Cool, so who is turn playing? It's a person I'm not familiar with. It looks like he is on his way, though. Yeah, somebody I'm not familiar with. But we are getting things going here. We can go ahead and pop this up. And we do that and that. There we go. Whoa, it's very zoomed in. Whoa, whoa, where's Ag? Whoa. Calm down. Whoops, that's not what I wanted. All the things here. Big old spooky where's Ag there. Coming in hot. Okay. We want something more like that. Give us an army blocker. There we go. Yeah, me too, Joseph. Me too. I'm really hoping we get it in before Christmas. Be great for me, great for the game, great for everyone, I think. So, yeah. Guys are here now. They're gonna be getting their stuff locked in. So, just to review how things work for the pick and ban system for today, as we get the epic Bretonnian music going here. Oh yeah. Okay, so for picks and bans. Let's see here. Single pick, double ban. Okay, so top player starts. So yeah, top player picks, double bans, and then the bottom player picks, I believe. How it works. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but here we are. What might that DLC be? I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure, to be honest. Based on what Creative Assembly has said, I'm guessing it's not going to be anything to do with the Greenskins, because they said their update is going to be next year. As for the rest, it's really kind of up in the air. You know, what they could be doing. So, we'll see. I was planning on doing a roundup video of like everything we know so far, but I just haven't had time, unfortunately, so go ahead and check in with the lads here. Yeah, okay. Might need to rehost this one, actually. Yeah, these guys, I think it's going to take them a little bit to get their lobby figured out, so we might actually join another one. In the meantime, we can get another game here that's actually going. Like, let's see here. What's a good first round matchup? You know what? Let's check in with Slade X versus Raptor. Slade X, haven't seen him around in a while, so see what we got here. Let's see what you guys are saying. It's only game 2 factions and not Skaven. Okay. Interesting, yeah. What we got here? These guys are just getting their picks and bans locked in. What else for Christmas update? Festive? That would be cool. Unfortunately, they said that, they did say specifically that it's not going to be an old world update. That it's just going to be, like, what, quality of life stuff, I believe is what they said, so... Yeah, we'll see. I'm very interested to see, what they end up doing, but... Okay, just getting some things worked out here. These guys are locked in. Looks like we're going to be Dark Elves versus Greenskins. Cool, cool. Yeah, Dark Elves versus Greenskins. Should be an interesting one. This is an interesting matchup. Definitely a few different ways that both players can go. You can kind of go into more of a ranged kind of kite build with the Dark Elves. You can likewise also, you know, go... It's pretty tough to rush straight into Greenskins. With Helebron, you can sort of do it, sort of. It's not great, but you can try, certainly. Other things, yeah, Dark Elves just have a lot of tools, right? Same thing on the Greenskin side, though. Like, because the Greenskins have such a diverse roster, it can be pretty hard to game plan as, you know, as the Dark Elves as to what you should bring. You know, are the Greenskins going to go with, like, mass numbers? Are they going to go with a big face rush? Kind of what to expect there, but it should be interesting. Turn said he was playing Greenskins lately. Yeah, Greenskins are a super strong faction, honestly. They're super fun to play, too. I personally enjoy playing them quite a bit. Hey, King Azazel coming in hot with the $5. Big thanks, man. Thanks for the hours upon hours of free entertainment. Really appreciate it. Top 3 legendary lords in competitive multiplayer. Ooh, that's a good question, because right now with most factions, you would tend to take like a variation of lords, right? Like there's not one lord that you would take almost every time. I will say Wulfric is probably in the top 3 because of his mammoth, his boat. I mean, he's got a super strong debuff, and also the fact that he's one of 3 Norskin lords. I mean, it's pretty tough. I'd say for sure Wulfric. Malekith is a pretty strong contender as well. You see him pretty regularly. He's got a lot of upside. And I would say Lewin as well. Lewin is, yeah, just the staple for Bretonnia. I mean, you can go with the Fey Enchantress and with Albric in a lot of situations, but Lewin's just so strong. The Lion Shield, the Sword of Corone, he's got his own regeneration. The Beloved Stone of Bretonnia is super powerful in a late game situation too, so yeah, I'd say that's probably my top 3 right there. Cetra probably makes the list as well. Yeah, Big Bird would have been up there, but he's lost his throne a little bit as of late because of some successive nerfs, but Ikit's up there too, I'm not gonna lie. Ikit's Doomwheel is pretty freaking sweet. So, okay, we'll fade the music out here and get ready to go on game. Harkon? Harkon's good, but I don't know. For you gotta take it in context of the faction, right? Because, like, yes, all of the vampire lords, even Gorst, in a competitive sense, are more competitive than any other lords in the game because they have lore of vampires. Specifically only because they have lore of vampires, right? But if you take that out of consideration and just take the faction as a whole into account, right? You look at the vampire counts, you say, okay, they have like 15 lord selections, a lot of them are viable. So, like, each one's value is not that great, whereas with Bretonnia, for example, you don't have as many lord selections, so the one super powerful lord selection of Lewin becomes a lot more valuable. Guess I should probably turn my game sound on here, huh? There we go.. And, did we lose him? Oh no, did we lose him already? What happened? This is appeared to have frozen up here. Oh, no, here we go. Looks like Raptor got dropped, unfortunately. So, that's, not the best, but... We'll see. We'll see how far a turn goes. He said his wrists might not hold up too well, but he wanted to make a run, so... And opponent's gone. So... We're going to go ahead and back out of that one. Oh, man. Just not having any luck here today with these early rounds. But hopefully we can get some action for you guys. You know, we're a few minutes in, 18 minutes in. Okay. It looks like these guys are hosted, so we'll come in here and actually grab turns game. Army blocker up. Go. Yeah, pretty unfortunate there. I'm not sure what happened, but... Yeah. Yeah, no problem, Alex. A pleasure. May the best Norskin win. Yeah. Yeah, hopefully we get some good Norsk action. I would be down for that. Norsk is a super strong faction, to be honest. Like, a lot of people, I don't know, a lot of people think that they aren't that strong, but to be honest, like... Let's see here. Looks like Falcon's going to be joining us. Grimgor, and Grimgor. No, actually, no. 3 worst legendary lords in competitive. I'm gonna go with, that's a tough one. Because, like, even Gorst is good in some situations if you use him right. Yeah, that's an interesting one. The worst lords in competitive. Worst legendary lords in competitive, specifically. Like, all the really terrible lords are generic lords for the most part. There aren't really that many terrible legendary lords. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Why do we never see mirror matchups? Probably because most people hate them, and find them boring. There are some mirrors that are pretty interesting, but... Sorry, the tournament registration's actually already closed. So, yep, tournament bracket is locked in. Grimgor is terrible. I don't think Grimgor is completely terrible, though. Like, Grimgor has a role, which he's immune to psychology. So if you want a lord that's... Especially if you're going with, like, a big monster blob, like, let's say double spider, or maybe, like, double giant spider, or maybe double spider giant. If you take Grimgor in the blob, like, he's immune to psychology, so he's not going to get terror routed. And provide a little bit of damage in the blob as well. Like, he has his role, definitely. Uh... Da, 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 da. Yeah, he's a black orc. No, Skarsnik is not immune to psychology. Skarsnik has a similar role, but slightly different in that he has charge defense. Doesn't have immune to psychology, but he has better melee defense and a little bit more HP. And yeah, and he also has the ability to hide himself and the units around him. That's Skarsnik's main kind of differentiation from Grimgor, but they are pretty similar. Grimgor does slightly better against infantry, obviously, because he has more just total weapon strength, whereas Skarsnik's pretty good at fighting large characters, especially because he doesn't get staggered. Like, he doesn't get knocked down at all. Doesn't have knockdown animations at all. So in that sense, you know, he can definitely fight some of the bigger lords, and because he has that mass. So yeah, they're similar, but yeah. Yeah, that's the thing, King Azal, and like Alberic has his Trident, which is okay. He has his Anti-Large, which is okay. But Sword of Crone is arguably better than the AoE Anti-Large because it hits everything. I mean, granted, it's only for a limited amount of time, but it's also a lot more impactful of a debuff. And, I mean, yeah, you get Lion Shield as well. You get the self-regeneration, so you don't have to dedicate resources to healing him. But anyway, let's go ahead and have a look at these builds here. For Turin's Tomb Kings, we've got Arkan the Black with a Tomb Prince. Front line going to be some Skeleton Warriors and Tomb Guard. We've got, yes, a unit of Chariots. A Bone Giant, single Bone Giant with 2 Bow Shabti, very strong. Couple of Carrion, yeah, Nehekara Horsemen, Nehekara Warriors as well, interesting choice. Looking for a bit more meat in the front line. On the Empire side here, we've got some Demigryph Knights with Halberds, no surprises there. Some Flagellants, interesting to see them here. I'm not the biggest fan of Flagellants, as many of you guys will know. I think you're better off to take, like, veteran State Troop Swordsmen. But in the Undead factions, against Undead factions specifically, it can be nice to have the Flagellants for the Unbreakable. He's got some Spearmen here, looks like Gotrek, Jade Wizard, and Marcus Wolfheart. Very interesting. The Sunmaker as well, and the Hammer of Witches. So this is going to be probably a bit of an artillery shootout here. And Turin may regret these Tomb Guard in the front line and these Nehekara Warriors. Probably wanted to just go with just a little bit wider of a build, but we'll see. The Sunmaker is definitely a bit of a gamble. Yes. Well, you guys will have to thank Aerocrastic. He is the organizer of this tournament, and he's also casting on Twitch. So, yep. Sigvald and Gorst are also not so good. Actually, I think Sigvald is really good because he gives you a few things. Number one is just a lord that's hard to snipe, and that in and of itself can be quite advantageous. But it looks like these guys are getting underway. Rockets, Red Glare, going to be unleashed right away. Let's see where they fire. Maybe they're thinking about it. Here we go. Let's see where these rockets land. Going after the Tomb Guard. Or no, it looks like skeletons in the back. They do take a pretty nasty shot there, but it definitely could have been worse. Obviously, the cannon is going to be focusing on the Bone Giant. Turin's going to want to probably prioritize taking out the cannon first thing first. Be honest here, with the Bone Giant and the Bow Shabti, I would think, because the cannon cannot kind of out-trade them. But if they close the distance here, with the Bone Giant and these 2 units of Bow Shabti, they will be able to out-trade the cannon. So we'll see. Going to be an interesting situation, but Sunmaker coming in, not doing too much at the moment. Not sure. It looks like it might have been a little bit mistargeted there on those Bow Shabti. I'm not exactly sure, but the Bow Shabti actually targeting the Jade Wizard at this point, and he's on foot, so he's a pretty small target. A lot of those shots going to be missing out there. And Knights of the Blazing Sun coming out to the far side. Oh man, those Chariots took a nasty shot from that cannon. I must have missed that. But yeah, side-shotting like this through the cannon, from the cannon, oh man, it hits multiple models of the Chariot. Absolutely devastating. That is so rough. He definitely needs to take out that cannon. I'm not really sure why Turin's so focused on this Jade Wizard here. There's not even really that much in the Empire army that's all that worth healing at the end of the day. He definitely should be focusing on the Hammer of Witches here and trying to take out these actual artillery pieces. Focusing the Knights of the Blazing Sun is going to be pretty good, with the Boshabti especially. The Bone Giant, not sure with the missile damage. I don't know if the magic resistance will really play into that too much here, but keep in mind the Bone Giant does do magic missile damage, right? So, yeah, Skeleton Warriors getting hit by the Sunmaker, honestly, that's not the worst in the world, but he is starting to trade some good value here now, though. Looks like Marcus going to go ahead and throw down a net here, as Arcan gets a little bit crazy, trying to get in here. Ooh, a nice skeleton summon though to block up those flagellants and Gotrek from being able to close the distance, and that is going to be a bit of a wasted net there from Marcus in my opinion. So yeah, definitely some good trades back and forth on both sides. Yeah, unfortunately one of those units of Carrion did just get kind of sacrificed there, which is a bit tough. Turn does need to be careful because he doesn't have a ton of units to chase routing opponents. These Neakara Horsemen certainly can, but he probably wants to use them in combat more than anything. But a nice pick here, finally able to take out the Hammer of Witch's crew, and yeah, dude, actually blows up one of the unit models there. That's why you want to use the Bone Giant against the cannon. If we take a look close here, you can see 2 of these artillery pieces, actually all 3 now, are destroyed by the Bone Giant. It's actually accurate enough to snipe out those artillery pieces. So, great value there. Demigryph Knights are now going to be activated. They're going to be the target now for the bow squad, the giant bow squad. Flagellants are pushing through, though. You can see the Neakara Warriors just getting absolutely pounded here, and the Tomb King's infantry is having a pretty bad time, all things considered. Arcan's definitely going to need to try and support his buds here, but Neakara Warriors, or sorry, Horsemen, being used here against these Demigryph Knights. Spirit Leech as well will drop a model or two, so very good stuff there. Tomb Prince with his anti-large AP also getting in the fight, mixing it up with some of these Knights and so on. Looks like we're going to have a regrowth here on these Demigryph Knights. Yeah, they've got 14 models, so they'll still receive quite a bit of healing there, but these Boshabti and Bone Giant have already been able to generate some pretty good value. Used up quite a bit of their ammunition as well, but let's check in. Arcan's doing okay. He's fleeing from Gotrek. Let's say moving in the opposite direction. Actually helping to chase off some of these Demigryph Knights. Must have been terrified there from the Tomb Strike. Not sure, yeah, something. But Gotrek, unfortunately, just not really able to keep up. That being said, the Empire Infantry is just cleaning up house at this point. There's going to be a lot of flagellants for old Spooky Boy to have to get through in this late game here. Likewise, though, the Bone Giant should be okay. There's not, with the Demigryph Knights gone, and with Wolf Heart now getting taken out by these Ushabti, there's not going to be a lot of targets left to actually take down that Bone Giant, so potentially just with Bone Giant and Arcan alone, Turn could probably take this, but we'll see. Marcus did have a bit of a tough time escaping there. Took a ton of damage from those Ushabti with their anti-infantry bonus. So yeah, he really hasn't been too impactful. I mean, none of the single entity targets that he's needed to snipe have been sniped, and that's kind of the only reason you take Marcus. So I do think that's definitely a mispick here. Karl Franz, just anyone really would have been better. Marcus is, you want one of the worst legendary lords. I mean, he's not completely terrible, but Marcus, since the nerfs, is pretty bad. That being said, balance of power is still pretty even at this point. There's a lot of Empire troops still online. This rocket's used up all of its ammunition. Let's see. How many kills did that end up getting there? 187, pretty good stuff. There's just all these flagellants, too, are going to be really tough to take down. Bone Giant's fighting some Empire Spearmen in melee. Not the best engagement for the Bone Giant, but, I mean, 80 armor. He's going to be fine, probably, sitting in that fight. Looks like the Jade Wizard does get routed off there, not before he gets one final Earthblood to sort of hit the Spearman. Gotrek is going to be a bit of a problem as well. Gotrek with all these flagellants left is going to be an issue. And oh man, a nasty shot there from Marcus. I guess he really doesn't even need that much HP to really get the work done in the late game here, but oh, it looks like that focus shot actually canceled. Yeah, I'm not sure. It looks like the focus shot did actually cancel there. Pretty unfortunate, but a Tomb Prince comes in with a royal blow there right to the face, and Marcus is not feeling too good. If he could have got a couple shots there more to maybe try and finish off Arcan, he probably could have pulled this back, but I don't know. Spirit Leech now. Oh, Gotrek comes in. Gotrek gets a couple of hits. This could be bad, but it looks like, unfortunately, he's going to get zoned out there. Oh, but a nice net right before Marcus drops. Will this allow Gotrek? Oh, no, but it cancels because Marcus actually routes there. So that is very unfortunate. Gotrek, I don't think, got any attacks on either of those characters. So a very, very unfortunate situation. for the Empire there. Bowshopty pulling back. There's still plenty of them. The Nehekar Horsemen are still alive as well. They can chase routing units. They can help clean up some of these non-unbreakable troops. This Bone Giant, though, being left alone against the Empire Spearmen, they've actually done a lot better. I mean, I guess I should know, right? Empire State troops, very, very cost-effective, and able to fight this Bone Giant in melee, no problem. But looks like the two Bowshopty now going to be providing some supporting fire. These Nehekar Horsemen and Arkan as well can come over and kind of try and bail the Bone Giant out a little bit here. The Tomb Prince being used to excellent effect to try and chase Wolfheart off here. So Empire's still got some units left. Lots of unbreakable troops with Gotrek and all these naked flagellants and stuff. But yeah, the Bone Giant, it is very poor in terms of its melee stats. 31-26. 400 weapon strength is quite good, but the melee attack and defense is pretty poor, even compared to Empire State troops. I mean, 34 defense on State troops means that besides doing the impact damage, obviously, he's going to struggle to actually make direct contact on his melee attacks, but looks like he's able to get free there. Loading up another shot. Oh, man, Bone Giant's such a cool-looking unit. It's really strong, too. And he just snipes that Lifecaster. Oh, man, just gets absolutely deleted. Straight up arm gone. Oh, man, rough stuff. Just Imran Zakayev right to the arm. Yep, good stuff. We've got the Bowshopty still with a little bit of ammo left. Looks like they're going to be shooting this little flagellant box. And it's not looking too great for the Empire. Balance power still dead even, but Arkan can continue to summon skeleton warriors in the late game here. And he can continue to get friendly fired by the Bone Giant. But nice little rear charge here to take out some of these flagellants. The flagellants getting very, very low on HP. There is this other unit that's relatively healthy as well. And you know, a lot of these like Spearmen and other state troops. But I think at this point, I mean, I don't think Gotrek can carry this by himself. I mean, I would be very, very surprised if he could. Yeah, you can see he's going to start to take little chips of damage here and there. Arkan chasing off the Spearmen here, but the balance power is going to stay tight here because of these unbreakable lads. We'll zoom in close here as the Bowshopty get ready to throw some bolts over in this direction. Maybe, maybe not. We've got some cannon crew mixed in here. Where's Gotrek? Oh, nice little charge from the Nehekar Horsemen, right in the side there. You saying Marcus needs a buff? I don't know if he needs a buff. I think. Yeah, maybe a little bit of a buff. Yeah, maybe increase his range slightly. That would be fine. Or just make him a little bit faster baseline. I don't know. But at this point, everything is gone, I think, except the unbreakable troops. But just because there's so much unbreakable power left on the field, you know, the balance power still showing pretty well in the Empire's favor. That being said, Gotrek's, one of his main weaknesses is getting isolated to missile pressure here. So as the Bone Giant whacks him, the Bowshopty are going to be throwing shots in here as well, and those will do a lot of damage to Gotrek. They also will do some friendly fire to the Bone Giant, of course, but Gotrek should be taking some decent hits here. But he is going to be tough, a tough nut to crack for this this force. And Arkan definitely needs to try and keep his recharge going for the summon. Nice rear charge there. Looks like he didn't actually knock Gotrek over, though, which is a bit of a problem. But he did get a hit. Oh, and a few nasty shots from the Bowshopty there. Very good stuff. Yeah, see, in this type of a situation, what you want to do is pull up and around with the Tomb Prince. Although he does have Tomb Strike active, up to 62 melee attack. Oh, but Gotrek slays the Bone Giant. Oh, man. So cool. Gotrek is just absolutely resolute here. It refuses to go down, but the Bowshopty now out of ammo going to be charging in. They don't have the anti-infantry bonus, but they do have only 23 attack as well. I mean, Gotrek's got 50 defense? So yeah, they're going to be having a hard time making direct contact with him. But Arkan wants to try and stay mobile here. The Tomb Prince, unfortunately, is too far gone at this point. He's going to be crumbling, so it might as well charge him in for one last glorious rear charge. Gets a hit. And that's probably going to be it for the Tomb Prince. Yep, crumbles away there. But Gotrek's taking some damage. You can see the rest of the Empire troops as well. Not too happy. Nehekar Horsemen coming in with Arkan. Going to be cleaning up some of these flagellants in the late game. You guys, you poor guys, came all the way into the desert. You didn't bring any sunscreen, so you got all sunburned. And now look at what's happening. You're getting killed by skeletons. Gotrek versus the world. Yeah, Gotrek versus the many Ushabti, and he will kill many of the Ushabti, make no mistake, but he's also going to take a lot of damage here. He gets his healing proc. Not going to be enough, though. Yep, he's getting real low, down to below 200 HP, and looks like the Empire player will concede there, so good stuff. A very, very good battle, honestly. Nice back and forth. Pretty decently close there until the end, but yeah, Marcus was a little bit of an unfortunate pick. I mean, the Sunmaker ended up doing quite well, but I just don't know that he really needed it. With the Flagellants and this much anti-infantry, like, you're probably going to win the infantry fight anyway, so I really don't see the need for the Sunmaker. I think change that out for some Pistoliers, I know, right? Pistoliers, or even just like some Outriders, some Hunters, something to give you some more missile pressure on, you know, some of these various high-value targets. I think would have been pretty good. Even a second cannon after the Bone Daddy. But yeah, GG. Yeah, good match. Good match. And people say Gotrek is OP. People say Gotrek is OP. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, without Marcus, the Empire player might have had it. Yeah, Marcus did get some damage in, but he did not pay for himself, I don't think. So, yeah, even if he had changed it out for... In that matchup specifically, I think the Huntsman General is even better, too, because he gives himself fire damage. And, of course, Tomb King's weak to fire. Same for Lithanar. Yeah, Lithanar's decent in some matchups as kind of a sneaky pick, but he's not ideal. Actually, Lithanar might be up there for one of the worst Legendary Lords, to be honest. He's not terrible. Like, that's the thing, is no Legendary Lords are useless, I don't think. There's just some that are a lot less useful than others. And, yeah, Marcus and Lithanar both actually now kind of fit into that category. Yep, exactly, King Agizal. You get some hunters, you get a nice ambush setup, especially even with the Templehof Luminarch, because it has the net, right? And you net Arcan, you blast him with the Luminarch, get your Huntsman General in position with some Huntsmen, and pop that buff. Get some work done, absolutely. I think Skarsnik's pretty decent. I know people think Skarsnik is bad, but I actually take him on a semi-regular basis and have success, so... Yeah, all the Greenskins Legendary Lords are good. Tretch is not that great, especially compared to other 3 Legendary Lords for the Skaven. He has a role, but it's not a great role. Like, you're better off with even just like a Bracier on a cart in a lot of situations, but... What are my predictions for the next DLC pack? It's tough to say. It's really tough to say. Based on previous evidence... Hey, King Agizal, another 5. Thanks again for casting. Gotta go. Watch later. Luck Wicked in turn. Hey, thanks, man. Yeah, the VOD will be up absolutely later on, so huge thanks. Icket on foot, better than Tretch? Yeah, in a lot of ways, yeah. Especially because he's your caster and Lord in one, right? I don't agree with that. Alright, Tamilton coming in. Some love for the stream and for being a total boss on Empire. Nice to catch a tourney here. Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Much appreciated. Yeah, I've been having a lot of fun. It's just... I go through phases, right, of playing different factions, but the nice thing about the Empire is it's kind of like an all-you-can-eat buffet, right? Like, you can take whatever you want, and the faction itself never gets stale, because you can do whatever, yeah. Pistoliers, yes, exactly. Yeah, so, That Empire build versus Turin the other day was hilarious. That mass Free Company and Hunters. That was wild. With Pistoliers, of course. Can't forget about the Pistoliers. Thanks. Appreciate it. Off signature move, Pistoliers, right? Oh man, it's funny because you're not wrong completely. Empire is the favorite child, you're right. Bretonia is like the stepchild who's shoved into the corner, like under the stairs. No love. Outrider Pistolier play, yeah, oh yeah. Pistoliers, I mean, people talk bad about them, and I used to be a hater, but I mean, granted, they've been buffed successfully over the years to where they're actually quite strong now, but they just do so much missile damage. So much missile damage. The Butte, thing of Butte. Oh yeah, I should probably hide the army selection, huh? I guess I should probably hide. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Only High Elf Lord without heals. That is a problem. You are correct. Yeah, because Tyrion has self-healing, and obviously the other ones are actually healers. That's kind of the problem you run into with Dark Elves as well. Is like Hellebron's good, but she doesn't have self-healing. Even Lokir's good, and he has self-healing, but it's not like Malekith or Marathi, right? So. Yeah, you saw it. I just don't know if Turin's opponent saw it. I don't know what you could even do against such reckless hate anyway. Predictions for DLC? Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. From what I've heard, from what I understand, it's not Greenskins, so probably not Greenskins versus High Elves, because everyone thinks Greenskins is going to be versus High Elves, which makes a lot of sense to me. I think, did they say that it's not a game 1 versus game 2? I want to say that they said that. Somebody said that earlier. Force matchup poorly versus Chaos? Yes and no. You can definitely do some things in this matchup. It depends on the build that Turin takes, but see, brought. What Elves update? Yeah, what Elves update? It would be nice. It would be great at some point. The thing about Lokir's regeneration on his dragon is he has to be in melee. So when you compare him to like, well, and that's the issue with a melee condition. Like, yes, I've taken damage, so I need to heal. But in order to heal, I need to go into melee where I'll take more damage, right? So you kind of run into like a catch-22 there a little bit. But okay, let's have a look at builds here. So we've got lots of great weapons. Interesting. I'm not a fan of Dwarf Warriors or Longbeard's great weapons. Longbeard's great weapons are okay, but Dwarf Warriors with great weapons are not the best. He's got a few of them here, though, with some Thunderers, some Miners with charges up front. Got a Rune Smith and a Garam Brindal with a cannon. Yeah, Longbeards. Some Slayers as well. 1 unit of Dragonbacks and the Giant Slayers as well. As for Warriors of Chaos, we've got Archaon the Everchosen coming in on foot with an Exalted Hero backing him up. Very interesting. We've got a couple of Gore Beast Chariots. Looks like some Marauder great weapons, some Chaos Warriors with great weapons. Not too much of what you would, beyond what you would come to expect. A weird spawn, interesting. I think this is a bit of a mistake. I'm going to talk about something here, guys, kind of a meta concept. So, why great weapons are bad. I actually have a video that I recorded, and I had just never finished about this. I'm probably going to be finishing it sometime soon, but Chaos Warriors with great weapons are one of the few great weapon units that I think are actually pretty good in the game. Most great weapon units, and that includes Marauders as well, they're just not cost effective. You get less melee defense for a little bit more cost. Yes, you get a bit of extra armor piercing damage, but the less melee defense is huge. Same thing for the Dwarf Warriors with great weapons as well. I mean, they just don't really have the melee attack to make use of this armor piercing damage. Only 24 melee attack is pretty bad. And yeah, I mean, they have good AP values, absolutely, but with those low attack stats, against even like the Chaos Warriors here. I guess with the Marauders with great weapons, they only have 20 melee defense, so I'm not really sure how that trade will go. But the Weird Spawn are a bit of an odd pick here. In my opinion, if you're going to take this Armor Sundering, you want to just go with shields in the front line and really sell out on the Armor Sundering with like tons and tons of, yeah, like Plague of Rust or, you know, different kind of effects there. And you want to be getting your damage from your chariots and other sources as well. So interesting builds on both sides. Not things that I would agree with, but White Lions are trash and, well, not trash. They have some situational uses, which are not killing armored infantry. And Swordmasters are a trap unit. So, yeah. At least in Standard Funds multiplayer, Swordmasters are absolutely a trap unit. Very expensive, low HP, not a lot of upside. You have other ways of killing armored infantry that are a lot more cost efficient and a lot more reliable. So, yep. Looks like the cannon's going to be focusing on the Gorby's Chariot. Definitely a good pick there. Those side shots definitely do a lot of damage, as we saw in that last game. So, only made contact with one model there, but meanwhile over here on the other side, this Gorby's Chariot getting ready to charge in. And Dwarf Warriors, the main thing, again, the great weapons, not only do you get less melee defense, but Dwarf Warriors with great weapons also lack the charge defense of regular Dwarf Warriors, so they're going to take the full impact of this charge here. But then, look, he uses the slow Rune of Wrath and Ruin, and multiple layers of gunfire here are going to be poured in. The Thunderer's getting some really, really effective damage in, and it looks like Dragonback Slayer is also going to be loosed as well. That Rune is about to run out, though, so I don't think that the Dragonback Slayers are actually going to be able to get into contact, but some very effective Overwatch fire. And, oh, here come the blasting charges. This is what we all like to see. Marauders getting absolutely exploded by blasting charges here. That is very cost-effective for the miners. Oh, yeah. Beautiful damage. Great work. They are going to get a little bit surrounded here, though. Grombrindle comes in, pops a smoke bomb on the Weird Spawn. They have taken a ton of damage as well from the multiple Overwatch fire guns here. So the Chaos player kind of letting himself be discombobulated a little bit, but at the same time, he is pressuring up into the second line here with the Chaos Warriors with great weapons. There's not a lot to now protect these Thunders. He does have this reserve of miners here. Some of these other units as well, like these Giant Slayers, might be able to follow up, but yeah, Thunderers out on the flanks getting walloped by that Gorby's Chariot there. That's pretty good value. Pretty good value, but a lot of high-value units already taking quite a bit of damage here. You can see this Gorby's Chariot not doing too hot as the Dragonback Slayers have been able to catch up, get their slowing attacks in, and yeah, the Gorby's Chariot's going to struggle to actually pull away here. They will get a few more attacks as it flees the field. Archaon's starting to blend through some infantry, though. Looks like, yeah, he's pushing it back into this back line. Trying to get on some of these characters, I would think. Trying to get on some of the Thunderers, but the Thunderers providing some very nice Overwatch fire here into these Chaos Warriors. This other unit of Chariots is also done for at this point, so things are looking up for the Dwarves already. Just 3 minutes in, balance power slightly in their favor. We'll see how things go from here, but looking good so far for the Dawi. They've managed to deal with many of the imminent threats. And yeah, even this Exalted Hero not doing too hot. I mean, the Giant Slayers are taking a lot of damage from him, but they are also dishing a lot of damage back with their massive weapon strength and melee attack. Giant Slayers, again, one of the few great weapon units that I do think are worth it in some situations. Although regular Slayers are more often going to be worth it just because of the lower cost. But oh man, look at that crossfire. Beautiful Dawi crossfire here with these Thunders just absolutely wrecking. And the cannon side shot. Oh man, this is absolute brutality. I don't know how these... Yeah, those Chaos Warriors have to be routed. I was going to say, there's no way they're not routed after that. They are absolutely shattered after just a pounding like that. A pounding of powder, if you will. Yeah, the Dawi guns just holding fast here. Looks like we're going to have a nice burning head, potentially, from Archaon. Is it overcast, though? Let's check the armor-piercing damage. If it's not overcast, it's not going to do a whole lot to a lot of these units, but... Yeah, I don't think that was an overcast. Didn't look super impactful. Of course, dwarves with their magic resistance will be okay anyway. And it looks like Grombrindle got his teeth on the Exalted Hero here. Oh man, come on, finish him off, Gromby. They're just doing a little dance right now. Looks like Gromby's got better things to do as the Exalted Hero actually shatters from his mere presence. So here we go. Grombrindle getting in against these Chaos Warriors. Oh, Nope, maybe not. Looked like he was going to do a big attack animation there, but... There we go. There we go. And the Dawi powder line still secure here. The beatdown body of the chariot. Very, very thematic. Cannon being used against those marauders out in the far ground there. The marauder horsemen getting routed off at this point. So really, it's mostly just Archaon, and he's going to face just sheets of gunfire here as the dwarf infantry that he was fighting go to fight his chaos warriors, and just a multi-layer gunfire here. Definitely a very effective strategy for the dwarves. That kind of missile onion, if you will, with multiple units of thunders. And oh man, Archaon just gets blasted in the face by a cannon there to finish things off. Oh man, what a brutal end for the Everchosen. Absolutely one that he deserves. And Grombrindle takes the win there. Turn going to be moving on 2-0. And a GG. Gromby uses Shattering Dance. Yeah, that was great. Awesome. So we'll go ahead and back out of that lobby and have a look over at the challenge page here to check what's going on. Looks like we have a few of the rounds finished already. And yeah, we're going to be having Turn versus Slade, so we'll probably keep it right here. Da-da-da-da. Cool, cool. The army blocker back in position. And let's see here. Just changing a couple things real quick. Da-da-da. Here. No. That is for use later. Yep, something like that. Cool. Yeah, so we're gonna be having Turn versus Slade. Should be a good matchup. Definitely a fun one. I'm gonna go probably grab a drink of water real quick. Fill my water bottle here. So let's put some tunes on for you guys. You know what? We're gonna go for the classic here. Oh, that's. Here we go. Oh. Go. Okay. And let's get things switched over to here. We'll throw that up, and I'll be right back. Alright, and I am back. Got the lobby stuff all sorted out, so we're now here. They're just getting their picks and bans locked in. Go ahead and swap back over here. Oops, that's not... There we go. Cool, cool. Hey, new member! Alright, Timonten. Sweet. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Get access to a few cool emojis there as well. Intern versus Slade. Yeah, Slade X is a veteran for sure. He's a very good Greenskins player. Well known as a Green Tide player. Plays some other factions as well, but probably what he's most well known for. Yeah. All the heavy infantry. Yeah, some dogs for harass would have done wonders. I totally agree, Timon. And yeah, he was just a little bit static on that build. Like, I think, and that, again, you downgrade all of those great weapons to shields. You're not as vulnerable to the missile fire. You're still going to trade pretty well against most Warp infantry. And then you have money to allocate for things like hounds or, you know, backline disruption tools. Maybe bring more chariots and do some different things. So, yeah. Yeah, turn playing, it's not a Dov tourney per se. It's organized by Aerocrastic, but yes. Whoop. No money for booze. Sad. Yeah, man-eaters. Hopefully when the ogres come out, because I know the ogres have a lot to do with, like, the mercenaries. Like, they frequently rent themselves out as mercenaries to various parts of the world, right? So, I'm really hoping that we see, once ogres are out, that they actually put together, like, a Dogs of War army. Or even just, like, a Dogs of War system for certain armies, like, where you could, like, take a unit of man-eaters, for example. Or, you know, like, some Slayer pirates, or whatever. Was it Slade X who did that? It might have been, yeah. I mean, he's a very strong Greenskins player. It looks like he's going to be going Norska this time around against Tomb Kings. And Tomb Kings are very tough to play as Greenskins. They're one of the tougher matchups, I think, if not maybe the toughest, due to a few specific things, but yeah. Yeah, at least for campaign, for sure. I don't know, Empire, I mean, they already have everything, right, except for monsters, so if you were to give them, like, monstrous infantry, like, would that... Oh, man, I'm just thinking right now about some of the build possibilities of actually having monstrous infantry in the Empire roster. It could be kind of fun. From a multiplayer standpoint, it could be hard to balance, but... Yeah, the ogres themselves are going to be a very interesting faction, because it's like a whole monstrous infantry faction, right? And I mean, like Norska, for example, has a lot of monstrous infantry selections, but they're not... Yeah, they're not... like, purely monstrous infantry, almost, right? And I do understand that the ogres have, like, Hobgoblin, Chaff, and they have some other units that are non-ogre related, but... Right, well, time for another Empire campaign. Yeah, it could be. It depends on the unit balance, because, like, honestly, monstrous infantry, unless most monstrous infantry actually isn't that good right now, like really, Famir and Kroxigors are an exception because they're high armor. Rat Ogres are really fast, so that kind of sets them apart. Skin Wolves are kind of the same thing. They're kind of more like Cav, plus they have regeneration. But like Crypt Horrors are pretty bad. Trolls are not amazing. Minotaurs are pretty bad for the most part, so I don't know. If they were like low armor, you know, medium leadership, kind of low melee defense type units, then I think it would be reasonably well balanced, depending on the cost. And I mean, obviously there's a lot more that goes into it than that, but yeah. A horde. You hire mercenaries based on where you are and what your reputation is. I think that'd be super cool. You can hire yourself out to armies in favors. That'd be cool. Yeah, and so you get, like, because right now one of the big issues is you don't get military access as a horde. So, like, let's say you like get hired out by, I don't know, the Border Princes to go fight the Greenskins. Then you automatically get, like, you get some money from them. and you get automatic military access from them, and, like, you know, if you fulfill missions, then you gain, like, diplomatic rep with them or something. I don't know. There's definitely some things you could do in that direction. Sounds fun. But, alright, looks like these guys are going to be getting started. We're on Volks Grad, which is a very interesting map. I'm quite a fan. It's got some major terrain variations and some different things going on, so... Yeah, mid-tier anti-large is going to wreck their roster. Well, it really depends. There's some different things they could do for sure. But I am genuinely curious. They're going to be probably one of my favorite factions for Game 3, just because they're the thematics of them, like, they're kind of ridiculous, and I'm somewhat attracted to the ridiculous, kind of silly factions like the Skaven and the Greenskins. So, yeah. All right. So, let's have a look at builds here. For Slade, he's gone with Wolfric on foot with a Fire Sorcerer on foot with just Burning Head. Wow, so looking straight up double wind spell. Got a whole bunch of Marauders up front, including a couple of Berserkers, some Javs, Ice Wolves, Norscan Ice Wolves, and Trolls. I know Slade's a huge fan of Trolls, so we definitely trolling all of us here. Should be quite fun. As for the Tom Kings, we've got, yeah, Double Tomb Scorpion with some Ushabti Greatbows, Arcan the Black, front line of Skeleton Spears, some Tomb Guard with Halberds, Skeleton Horsemen as well. Pretty good stuff. No Nehekar Horsemen this time. Oh, yeah, no, one unit Nehekar Horsemen. Nehekar Horsemen, for those of you guys who don't know, are an amazing unit. 32 melee defense, 28 melee attack for an undead light cav unit is super strong. 26 charge bonus as well, not bad. They're basically like mounted Empire State troops, more or less. What you can think of them like. Oh yeah. Yeah, they have hobgoblins, so they will have some goblin chaff, yes, for sure. Yeah, see you in a bit, Tamatan. Yeah, the Goblin Chaff will definitely be very essential to making the faction as a whole work. And they also have some fast attack units. Like, rather than having hounds, I think they have, like, big cats. I want to say they have, like, cougars and stuff, or, like mountain lions. So, that could be cool. Like, instead of a unit of like, poison hounds, you get a unit of big cats. Big, scary cats. So yeah, they'll definitely have some options, but the core of their roster is going to be monstrous infantry. So I'm curious, maybe they'll have like more per unit. Like maybe they'll have, what is a regular monstrous infantry here? You have a look at one of these trolls. They're what, 12? So maybe they'll have like 18 per unit, almost more like the skin wolves. You know, there's some different things they could do, but the Ogre's ranged units, though, from what I understand, in the tabletop, their ranged units are super, super strong, so they might actually be one of the better shooting factions when Game 3 comes out, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see. For now, we've got the Brutes of the Hound. No Brutes of the Hound, actually, just regular Marauders. But the Brutes of the North, here at home in the cold, looks very thematic. The Icehorn Marauders, these guys have got their warm cloaks. They're not getting cold anytime soon. And the Norskins will be charging downhill. The Norskins do have a little bit of a hill advantage here, but on the flip side, when you're playing as the Tomb Kings here, you can, or on this side rather, you can kind of deploy up on this hill, try and come down and get like a flanking charge in this open area here. You can kind of try and use some of the terrain over on this side to try and force an engagement. This little hill area here, you can kind of get charged downhill a little bit, which can be tough, but he's doing a good job kind of taking the high ground here with the Skeleton Horsemen. We've got some Carrion also scouting around as well. But this heavy rush going to slam into this Tomb King build like a ton of bricks. So I'm very curious to see how it goes. Oh, Grots, that's right. It's something like that. I knew it was some kind of goblin-like creature. We'll see. Well, right now, the Ushabti Greatbow's getting some good fire in. A quick summon to help disrupt this frontline rush here. And Arcan's also coming in. He does get hit by the Hunter of Champions, so that's a little bit dangerous. He's going to have to be careful not to get absolutely trolled here. The trolls, you can see, moving into a supporting position. But, yeah, Arcan having a little bit of a hard time getting his way out of here. Because the Berserkers are so fast, they can kind of keep up with him a little bit. But Oh man, here we go. This nice Norskin downhill charge. You can see the Scorpion moving up also to help disrupt this charge, but this is going to be nasty. All across the board here. Icehorn Marauders getting into it. We've got the Trolls getting into it. Arcan flees desperately through his own lines there to try and escape the Troll rush, but the Trolls are pushing through heavily. This Tomb Scorpion might be in a little bit of a rough situation here as well, but we'll see. Wolfric's not really in a position to support. Oh, and a little bit of a swing and a miss there on that Burning Head. Unfortunate. Unfortunate there, but we'll see. Marauders coming in to engage on Tomb Guard. This is actually a pretty good trade for Marauders. Because Tomb Guard have relatively low armor, you can see they're not really trading super efficiently there, so good stuff. Nice rear charge, though, from the Nehekar Horsemen. Going to do a ton of leadership damage. Probably be able to rout off those Marauders, but Berserkers here just cutting through Skeleton Spears like it's nothing. The Trolls are taking some shots, but of course they're going to be regenerating here, and as long as they hold their leadership together, they should be able to do okay. We've got some melee Ushabti in the front line as well, kind of fighting it out here, so decent stuff all around. Hounds in the back line being used here. Wolfric, unfortunately, not able to get into front line into a supporting position, but the Hounds, the Ice Wolves here, hopefully will be able to deal with Skeleton Horsemen. It looks like they're not trading great right now, but the Tomb Scorpion's terror is a bit much for these Trolls as they get routed off here. Looks like Marauder Berserkers getting to the back line, just cutting through the Tomb Guard. The Tomb King's infantry definitely going to have a tough time here, and this is exactly what you want from these Ice Wolves, is to get in, get on these Ushabti, try and bog them down. Looks like this is actually the summoned Ushabti trying to keep these Great Bows safe and able to continue firing here, but the Tomb King lines are crumbling pretty quickly, quite literally, and the Norskin Ice Wolves are going to be able to get back and keep these Ushabti Great Bows slowed down. It looks like the Scorpion being dispatched maybe to try and get a rear charge and get a terror route in here. It's a pretty good play. Trolls are coming in for a second wave here, and if Wolfric has his attack buff, it doesn't look like he actually has the attack buff. So a little bit of a misplay in my opinion there, but if you look here, Arcan's somewhat caught up by these Ice Wolves. He's taking some damage, and again, these Ushabti Great Bows not able to get free either, but a nice Overcast Doom and Darkness to help do some leadership damage. Those Berserkers, though, still not wanting to rout, just absolutely fighting to the bitter end there. Very impressive stuff. These Berserkers over here are kind of getting ganged up on a little bit as the Tomb Scorpion starts to whittle them down, but a lot of stuff for the Tomb Kings is starting to go away, and you can see the balance power shifting slightly in Norska's favor as the Ushabti summon runs out there. This other unit of Ushabti as well is crumbling at this point. Just barely recovered its leadership there, so we'll see. Arcan, of course, still has plenty of pocket summons to be able to make this a nice, long, and grindy fight, which is not going to be very much in Norska's favor, but this is a great pick here. These mass Trolls able to get the Tomb Scorpion all caught up here. Wolfric himself jumping on the Scorpion's back, delivering a righteous kick to the head. Oh no. No. Don't do it. Okay, I think we're good. But yeah, that Scorpion not really too happy about its life choices at this point. The Javelins are able to get free and maybe start getting a few volleys into Arcan the Black there. Likewise, the Trolls rushing in. Oh, Trolls coming in with a paddle. Nice Liber Mortis to help give some physical resistance to some of the units in this pocket, but you can see there's almost no Tomb King's infantry left. Just this one unit of Tomb Guard out here scattered to the side. The melee Ushabti are barely hanging on here, as is this other Scorpion, but as for the rest, the second Scorpion's crumbled. These Ushabti taking some shots, taking some jabs, and the Ice Wolves are going to continue to keep them from firing. Very effective play there. So far it looks like it's going to be okay for the Norskins here. Do I keep calling him Archaon? Archaon? Whatever. It's the same thing, right? They're spooky villains. But yeah, the mass infantry at this point, and the Trolls as well, doing some excellent damage here. Trolls matching up 1v1 versus Ushabti here. This is what we all came to see, right? And the Ushabti actually just crumble in the face of the terrifying Trolls. And with that, I don't think Turin has what it takes to pull this one back. I mean, the Scorpions are just, they're going to get pounded by the Trolls here. And the fact that these Javs are still online with so much ammo. Wolfric is completely untouched as well. Just 100% healthy on foot. Just chatting it up with his Marauders. Just the dude bros going out for some brews. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. You can see it's Tomb Scorpion still holding its leadership for the time being, but Turin's going to continue to fight tooth and nail here to try and pull this one back. These Ushabti Greatbows still have a lot of ammo left, so he definitely wants to try and get them free if he can, but the Ice Wolves are just going to be such an issue in that regard. And even Wolfric on foot, I mean, he's got plenty of weapon strength. What is that? 490 weapon strength, 70 melee attack, so he can definitely get in there and support. One more skeleton summon, though, from Arcan as he gets pounded on by some trolls here. Not the best. Definitely wants to try and get out of that situation, but the Ushabti are still holding their leadership for the time being, just barely. This one is, at least. This one over here on the side getting caught up by trolls, just dragged into the mud in the forest here. And believe it or not, actually, the Berserkers, because they have such high weapon strength, will do okay at chasing down the Ushabti. They're fast enough they can chase them. They have decent total weapon strength. I mean, 57 total weapon strength with 13 AP is not bad at all. And they can definitely get some good work in. You can see the Ushabti losing a model there, just continuing to get whittled away. A nice boat from Wolfric actually applies the Frostbite debuff there, and it looks like the Javelins, not really sure. They're moving nice and close. Do they have a melee attack order? Oh, no. They're going to throw the jabs. There we go. Do some good damage. Looks like they're able to drop a model there. And, yeah, Arcan once again getting caught out by the Troll Rush. He's unified with the Scorpion, which is what he needs to do. But, oh, he goes down there to critical army losses. Awesome stuff. Great build from Slade. That Norscan Troll Rush. So unexpected, and yet so effective. Yeah, the Berserkers, honestly, are what carried that. 4 Berserkers is a lot for Tomb Kings to try and deal with. This much infantry as well. Icehorn Marauders, 129 kills. Definitely cleaned up all the Skelly boys. You definitely want the Ice Wolves as well to help chase down Ushabti Greatbows. So an excellent build from Slade. On Turin's side, you know, I definitely get what he was going for. For me, I would probably... 1 Scorpion's good. 2 Scorpions pretty good as well. But I might go a little bit easier on the constructs and just go wider with, like, chariots and bow units. Like... Skeleton Horsemen archers, and maybe just bring more Nehekar Horsemen as well. Just go a little bit wider, because, yeah, because Norska is kind of the monster hunting faction, right? It can be tricky taking, like, single entities against them. Like, even the Tomb Scorpion at only 1,000 points can be a bit of a risky pick, so, yeah. Fun. That's a great match. Yeah, take a good scotch in the tournament stream. There we go. That sounds like a great day. We've had some really fun games so far, so hopefully we can keep it going. We have a look at the bracket here. I know you guys can't see it, but checking in. Actually, not too many more rounds left, to be honest. There's really only 3 more rounds left. It's going to be a relatively short tournament, but that's okay. Sure, there will be hiccups along the way, but yeah. So those of you guys who are wondering, it's the Salad Cup organized by Aerocrastic. Here is, I'm going to post a link in the chat to the tournament page. So for those of you guys who want to check out the bracket, you can go ahead and have a look there. And you'll notice as well that there's kind of a theme going on with the maps. So like we already had first round there with icy maps. The second round, third round is Volks Grad, Kale, Main, Burn. Third round, so we have Volks Grad, Altdorf Outskirts, and on. Next one is going to be on Altdorf Outskirts, and like it's going to be Turin versus Greenskins Slade. Turin's trying to decide what to take. It's battle, absolutely. Well played indeed. So yeah, hopefully you guys have been enjoying the content lately. I know the guide so far has been really well received. Player faction guide. So I already have recorded and process of editing my next video, which is going to be an updated how to read unit cards video. Oh, is the voice audio going in and out? I probably need to be a little bit closer, kind of far away. But yes, yeah, the guides. I have one recorded, and I'm also going to be starting the faction overviews as well, because like with the Tomb Kings and the Vampire Coast, at least, I'm not expecting them to get sort of major updates until maybe late into Game 3 cycle, if anything. So those ones, if I make a faction overview kind of guide now, it's not going to go out of date immediately. That's kind of why I've held off on some of the other ones. The Empire, I'm thinking I'll probably do as well, just because they just got a DLC, and again, they probably won't get anything until late Game 3 cycle, if I had to guess. So probably Vampire Coast, Tomb Kings, Empire for the time being, and then kind of as the updates roll on, I'll be doing more of the faction overviews kind of as those factions get updated. Yeah, you guys will be enjoying that. And as for other projects going on, that's pretty much it. I'm mostly just focusing on the guide stuff. Of course, daily battle replays as well, but summon the Elector counts. There we go. There we go. Yeah, I have quite a few ideas for guide videos, because I get questions. I get a lot of really good questions quite frequently. And a lot of people don't necessarily totally understand all the game mechanics, so... Why does nobody use Bretonnia? Well, Bretonnia is really strong, but they're really hard to play. And... yeah, they're in a weird place. They're very strong, but they are tough to play. And they have a few matchups which are really rough. Most matchups are okay, actually, I think. Especially now that Pegasus Knights and Hippogriff Knights are working, but... yeah, it's just like other factions like Tomb Kings are so much easier to be good with. So, yeah, a little bit unfortunate. I know I haven't been posting that much Bretonnia content lately, so I gotta get some more Bretonnia replays soon. Just been having too much fun with this No the Heck November thing. All right. All right. So Greenskins versus Lizardmen. Should be interesting. We're no doubt going to be busting out the dinos here. Slade X probably busting out the Daka, if I had to guess. It's anyone's guess. Definitely some wild builds on both sides of this matchup. That's the thing about Greenskins, is because their faction roster is so varied, like they just can do so many different things. A lot of their units are super good. Yeah, Grails are tough. Grails are tough, especially in matchups where your opponent has artillery, but... yeah, hopefully... I'm hoping that Bretonnia gets some more love at some point. I know they already kind of revamped their campaign system, be a bit better, and like the whole vows thing. It's pretty cool, honestly. I was playing through it the other day again, and I'd forgotten how cool that was. But... yeah, just in terms of multiplayer, and this is a problem in general with Elite Cav right now, is just that it's, besides Blood Knights, because Blood Knights you can heal your unit models, it's like Grail Knights, Dragon Princes, yeah, even Chaos Knights with Lances, like you just don't see them super often because they're really tough to pay for themselves. But, right, Optimus Pine? Yeah, it's a bit of a role reversal. How's it going? Good to see you. Yeah, turns in the tournament, and I'm casting. Going up against a very strong player. Just dropped one Tomb Kings versus Norse Control Rush, which was absolutely beautiful. If you missed it, definitely go back and check that one out. But it looks like these guys are probably just about ready here. Things here. And close that. Alright, and just taking a look at the bracket here, it doesn't look like any of the quarterfinal games have been set yet, or none of the matchups rather, so we're still on round 3. But yeah, I'm excited to see this Greenskins build in action. Thanks, Robert, much appreciated. Much appreciated. Yeah, I don't get the opportunity to live stream as much as I would like. I know I've talked about in the past how much I would like to live stream more, but then I just, you know, real life ends up getting in the way a lot of the time, and yeah, it's a thing. But glad to see you here today. Thanks for joining. We're having some fun. Should have quite a few more good games to go. So, real quick here. Alright, we got, what, 103 people watching? That's not bad at all, especially for a multiplayer stream. Like we've got some people doing good. Let's see here. Russian Prince got eliminated, unfortunately. Looks like Hadriz and Legatus Leonidas are playing right now. Imperator and Randomnix. Crabling versus Taco. That's funny. Crabling and Taco were originally matched up before they scrambled the brackets, but yeah, that's interesting that they got matched up again. That'd probably be a good one. Yeah, hopefully I get some of these replays as well of some of the games that we're not showcasing, but... yeah, Turin's taking his time. His army selections here, definitely putting a lot of thought into it. Probably more than I would into my army, to be honest. But I guess that's the difference between us. Yep. Just waiting here for turn. Like he's just making sure his army is actually legal. We'll see. I'm curious to see what turn brings here. Seen Slade's build already. It is quite a solid build, if I have to say so. Alright, Altdorf Outskirts, the true classic. Look at the flags of the Empire flying free and true there. Beautiful. Beautiful. No doubt the citizens of the city have gathered atop the walls to watch the spectacle about to unfold before them. I predict Dread Saurian. I think you're probably right, and... well, no, actually. Instead, we've got Thick Boy Mazdamundi and the Thunderous One. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, look at that big old red stegodon. Looks like a giant lollipop, honestly, or like a piece of chewed up bubblegum, maybe? I don't know. Anyway, as for the rest, we've got some Temple Guard, some Crocscores, the cohort of Waddle, actually, very interesting. Gonna be led by, yeah, Mazdamundi here. Oh, I thought he was Onslaught. Weird. Looks like he's got a Feral Carnosaur. He's got Cold One Spear Riders as well. Bunch of Skink Javs. Pretty straightforward build. For the Green Tide, this is a very, very strong build from Slade here. He's got a ton of Goblins in the front line to help on that initial push. Lots of Orc Airboys. Orc Airboys very key in this matchup, as they are essentially crossbows. They have 6 AP per shot, which is very, very good. Got Trolls as well. Of course, Slade loves his Trolls. And he's very good with them. We've got Spider Riders also. Looks like Orc Shaman here. A Night Goblin Shaman. And is that Grimgore? It is Grimgore with the Queen as the heavy hitters. So you guys talking about how Grimgore was bad in chat? Well, how about Grimgore in a tournament against Turin? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, is my XGF in this army? That's funny. No, yeah, no Dread Saurian, but we got a Grimgore, guys. Look at Grimgor, all angry and ready to go. Isn't he adorable? Spider, too. What's up, baby? Queen's a super strong pick in this matchup. The summons are very good here. The anti-large AP with poison is super strong here as well. Not the most weapon strength in the world, at only 380, which is actually pretty low for a monster. Like a giant's coming in with a lot more. But I like this build quite a bit. Do like it. Spider Riders, best light cap in the game. Oh, the thunderous one. Oh man, I love the like lightning going on in the back of the howdah here. Ready to shoot out and zap some people. Oh yeah, here we go. And the message is, "Wah!" Right? At least some hope for Turin. Yeah, I think there's some hope for Turin. He is going to have a little bit of a tough time protecting his dinos against this much Daka. Like, yes, he has Mazdamundi and the Thunderous one, but doesn't have a ton of backline pressure. His Carnosaur's going to have to do a lot of heavy lifting here, and I just don't know that it can against this wide of a build. Like, I think just that Slade's gone too wide. You say that. There's the wine chat if you wanted it. Yeah, good stuff. Anyway. Making their way forward, you can see Turin's going to kind of slide up and probably try and take a little bit of a ridge position here and then fight somewhat downhill, but he does get his cohort of Waddle there discovered. These Mangy Marauders with their AP missiles, oh, they're going to get netted here. This is a bad situation. I mean, granted, they're only 600 points, so it's not that big of a loss if they get taken out here, but this is a pretty rough situation. They might be able to do a little bit of damage to those cohort of Waddle, but unlikely. Not taking a ton of losses, though, and they might not even rout away here, in which case that's going to be great for Slade, but I don't know. I don't know if that was really worth the Winds of Magic for that net there. You can see Turin's just kind of pulling back there, wanting to make sure he gets the most out of that engagement, and kind of forcing the Greenskins out of their own position here a little bit. Yeah, Mangy Marauder's going to be going ahead and pulling away there. Javs might pull up into a position here, but you can see he's actually conceded this little ridge position to the Greenskins. And yeah, Cohort of Waddle have done a lot of damage, but keep in mind, these guys are more than double the cost. I mean, almost triple the cost if you look at just the gold of the Mangy Marauders. So you really don't want them taking too much damage from the Mangy Marauders there. But we'll see. Spider's going to be an issue, and Grimgor as well, especially Grimgor fighting with the Spider together. Looks like the skink machine gun on the back of the Howdah is going to open up there, and oh man, this is risky. Nice charge in here, just gets a huge attack animation, and the Waz popped immediately here. Oh, and the Arcane Unforging a little bit late there. Looks like that Slade probably saw the template pop up and popped Wah immediately, so he does still get some value at least from the speed and the charge bonus, perhaps. But yeah, great kind of counterplay there. Mazdamundi, of course, with that Arcane Unforging, can prevent Wah potentially, but it does have a relatively short cast range, so the Goblins are going to get a little bit of a benefit from it. It is just about to run out here, so they won't get much benefit from it, but at the very least, he got it off before it was canceled, and might have gotten a little bit of extra benefit, but oh man, Grimgor's taking a beating from something here. Might have got stepped on by the Thunderous one just a little bit there, but you can see the Daka coming in now. Feral Carnosaur got that shield of the old ones. Mazdamundi also just kind of trundling away over on the side here. Looks like we've got Spider Hatchlings in the backline, and you can see, oh man, Grimgor going after the Thunderous one here. Ooh, just gets bodied. Absolutely bodied. He'll get back up, though. He should be able to get some hits in. Didn't actually take that much damage from that. And the Trolls you can see in the back line here being used to defend the Orc Airboys. The Cold One Spear Riders trying to get back here and shut down this missile pressure, but the Trolls, very nicely done, being used in response there. But yeah, Goblins not holding up too well in the front line, as you would imagine. Who knew? Yeah, surprising no one exactly. The Ragnarok Queen is kind of fighting on top of these Temple Guard, though, which is not the best. And the infantry fight's actually not going to go amazing for the Gobos, since they didn't bring, you know, any Black Orcs or any really heavy-hitting infantry. It's maybe not going to be the best, but oh man, Grimgor getting absolutely stepped on here by the Thunderous one as well with that extra anti-infantry bonus and everything. This is a really, really bad situation for the Greenskins. Cohort of Waddle also coming in. The Regiment Renowned Boxagors getting in here with their Power Fists out. Oh man, and a friendly fire right on some skinks. You don't like to see that, but that's the risk you take by bringing the Thunderous one, right? You can see the Daka is definitely getting pretty real. It's just the focus isn't quite there. But yeah, Grimgor getting taken out this early on would be a huge problem. That being said, the Arachnarok Queen is also still quite healthy, and she can potentially come back here and chase down Mazdamundi, but it's a big mistake not fighting Grimgor on top of the Queen, in my opinion. Because he, as you can see, just gets isolated and taken out here. That being said, the Daka's pretty real still, and there are still some leadership units to support. You can see the Night Goblin Shaman in the back line here is still fighting, and yeah, just the Daka is real. I can't really say it enough, but this Thunderous one taking so much damage at this point. Mazdamundi is trying to get away here, doing his best, but he's kind of pulling towards the Orc missile line, which is maybe not the best, because then they can all turn and start shooting at him, right? I mean, granted, he does have pretty good missile resistance, but even still, looks like Grimgor does actually get killed there. Very unfortunate. Mangy Marauders and many other units probably going to start to want to rout after that, but the Spider manages to hold its leadership together for the time being. It's going to come in here and maybe get some good hits on Mazdamundi, but yeah, Grimgor getting just slaughtered there was tough. He needed the support of the Spider. And that's sometimes as well why I like Skarsnik, because he has a little bit better melee defense, and he has charge defense. So like when the Stegodon does that charge animation, it won't get the charge bonus against you. Might have been a little bit better here at the end of the day, although of course he is not immune to psychology. But yeah, things turning a little bit against the Greenskins here as the cohort of Waddles start to push through. You can see the Carnosaur's completely healthy at this point. The Trolls kind of misused a little bit here, ended up over chasing on those Mangy Marauders, sorry, the cold ones quite a bit there. But we'll see. Looks like another banishment from Mazdamundi here, going to be ripping apart this Orc backline. And the cohort of Waddle are going to be able to pound him out in melee pretty decently as well. It looks like the Spider actually got routed, so a bit unfortunate. Blizzard's just pushing through on all fronts here. The Temple Guard also still have quite a few models left as well, so yeah. Decent effort from Slade, but I think, yeah, just making some mistakes with the positioning of Grimgor, I think, was really what cost him there. He needed to keep Grimgor together with the Spider as much as possible. And it, yeah, just didn't quite work out. Wurzag on foot. Yeah, Wurzag on foot is okay. Or, sorry, Wurzag with a foot, you mean. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Wurzag would have been pretty decent here as well. Wurzag's just always a solid choice, but for me personally, I do like to pick a Skarsnik or Grimgor here. Personally, I think against Lizards, you're slightly better off with Skarsnik. But another direction you could go as well is to try and out-monster mash the Lizardmen. Like, you just take, like, Double Giant plus the Spider. Yeah. Lizards take that one, and it's a 1-1 series. We got a game on our hands, guys. We got a series, so I'll put the army blocker back up as these guys get their picks sorted. Ah, GG. Grim gone. Ha ha. Terrible. Terrible. Here. So, here's a question for some of y'all. Would y'all be interested in watching some Age of Empires Definitive Edition gameplay? I just picked it up last night, and now granted, I've never played Age of Empires multiplayer before, so I'm going to be jumping into it as a complete noob, but assuming I can learn it and start to do okay, how would you guys feel about Age of Empires 2 multiplayer? Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition, specifically. Yeah, the OG Age of Empires. Well, the new Definitive Edition has upgraded graphics. They added a couple new factions. And yeah, the updated graphics is the main thing. The game looks gorgeous. So, yeah. Yeah, such good times. That was one of the first RTS games I played, too. It was like Warcraft 2 and Age of Empires, probably, was the first ones I played. And then, of course, Shogun Total War when that came out. I was all over that, and have been a huge fan of the Total War franchise ever since. So that's me. How are you? AoE's fun. It's super fun. For me, the best thing about AoE 2 is probably the music. Yeah, bombard cities from the shore, yeah. Phoenicians were really good, I remember, in AoE 1. In AoE 2, I always played, like, Japanese or English. If I wanted to play infantry, I would go Japanese. If I wanted to play, like, a skirmish, I would go English. Playing Mongols is pretty fun, too. The original Rome Total War got you into strategy games? Yeah, man, that was a great one, too. I actually, just recently, this last summer, I was on vacation with my family, and I took my laptop, and I had the original Rome Total War, Rome 1, downloaded on my laptop and started playing through it a little bit, and I forgot. That one's honestly still really fun. Like, that one and Med 2 are probably some of the best that have ever been, in my opinion. Yeah, that exactly, Optimus Pine. And the other thing too is like for me, I'm more of a fan of Turin picking Beastmen or Skaven into Beastmen. That's interesting. In my opinion, Beastmen have a little bit of an advantage in this matchup, but I'm curious to see what Turin has concocted here. But yeah, anyway, yeah, for me, I like the battle aspect of Total War a lot better than any other RTS. I mean, like you can have way bigger scale battles, and like you're not worrying about the base building and battles at the same time, because in Total War they're kind of separated, right? Like you have your base building on the campaign map and your battles separately. I'm more of a fan of just the pure battles, which is why I've gravitated towards Total War more than other RTSs. But don't get me wrong, I still love your traditional kind of base building style of RTS. Yeah, toggle. Yeah, dual screen me and Arrow, exactly. Toggle us back and forth. Original Shogun, stick figure grand. Oh yes, the stick figure grand strategy. I'm really thinking of doing an either Shogun or a Medieval 1 stream sometime soon, just for fun, because those games. And it's funny because if you're good, like if you're good at Total War Warhammer, if you have the fundamentals, the fundamentals have never changed, right? They have never changed between any of the Total War games. The graphics have changed. They went from 2D to 3D, but the fundamentals of Total War have always been the same. And so for me, like even going back and playing like the original Shogun or Medieval 1, like I can still play those games just fine in terms of a battle micro standpoint, because it's the same, right? The controls might be slightly different, might be a little bit older, a little bit clunkier, but it's still the same, fundamentally the same core. So yeah, love Total War. Great franchise. Yep. Yeah, yeah. I'll still absolutely have Total War Warhammer multiplayer as my focus, but it'd be good to get some variety in there. I know I'm personally a fan of like Civ 6 and yeah, some other strategy games, so would love to be able to showcase those a little more often on my channel. Base building strategy games. I recommend Stronghold. Not Stronghold 2, not Stronghold 3, the original Stronghold, and Stronghold Crusader. You can find HD versions on Steam, and they're both super fun, awesome. If you like base building, because it's almost a mix of like SimCity and like Age of Empires, in that there's a lot more resources, and it's a lot more involved in like managing your city and your castle. It does still have the RTS elements, but it's not as heavy into the RTS as it is into actual like city building. Personally, a huge fan. No way, Civ 6 is way better. I'm sorry, but I get why some people think that 5 is better, but especially now with the DLCs, like I can't go back to 5. Like with the no natural disasters, like I personally I'm a huge fan of the district system as well, because like it really rewards like positional planning. Like you need to plan out your city's locations a lot more thoroughly and kind of like plan like, okay, I'm gonna have my industrial district here and everything, kind of laid out in this way so I can get all the adjacencies I need. I don't know. For me, that just like scratches a weird part of my brain. But yeah, 6. I get a lot of people aren't about the aesthetic of 6, which is something that you can mod. Like I'll fully admit that I use mods for that. It's like a Civ 5 like app art style mod for Civ 6. I like that. Well, it depends, Tamonton. Like I haven't played 5 in a long time, so I don't really remember. But there are some factions, especially for Civ 6, that feel really unique and special. Like Norway, for example, being able to get science yields and culture yields by raiding your opponent's coastline is awesome. Probably my favorite faction, to be honest. Mali's really cool too, with the whole like gold only mechanic. How you get like terrible production and have to buy everything, but you get discounts and stuff. That's really fun. I really like... There's some other more unique ones, like Eleanor, how she can flip loyalty, and that's, again, a mechanic that's specific to Civ 6, but with the loyalty mechanic, you can get Eleanor's... You basically, like, peacefully conquer cities with culture. Yeah. Humankind, I'm probably going to be playing Humankind, assuming, you know, I've got contacts at CA, I'm assuming that I can get, you know, in contact with the reps from Humankind through Sega and everything, so yeah, I'll be playing that for sure. First time being turned to a live battle, huh? Yeah, well, you missed a good series. Good series. This is actually game 3 out of a best of 3, so this is going to be the final of this round. Whoever wins moves on. And, yeah, we're going to have Skaven versus Beastmen. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. See, for me, Chill Out Man, I get why some people are bothered by it, but, like, just thinking about, like, different places. Like, okay, this place is known for being a university town, for example, so... You can call it like a campus, or like Verdun, for example, is a good example in France. Like, it's a fort, so, you know, you put a fortress there. And so for me, like, it kind of makes sense to try and spread the districts out a little bit. Yeah, Civ 6 on release, I agree, was terrible. But with the DLCs, especially if you have both Rise and Fall and Gathering Storm especially adds a ton to the game. Like, the natural disasters thing is something that I'm a huge fan of. It's super fun. But yeah, if you haven't tried Civ 6 since release, I would definitely recommend when the DLCs go on sale, pick them both up and give it another shot, because especially the DLC factions now, they've done a lot to help like coastal cities are so much better now. Like, just in general, the adjacencies for different districts they've reworked, so like your campuses get adjacency bonuses from like reefs. So if you're playing a coastal civ, you can still get some adjacencies. Like they've reworked the industrial zone completely. Yeah, I do agree though. If anything Warhammer 3 can improve on, it's the sieges. 100% agree. Yeah, I'm not a fan. I end up auto-resolving a lot of sieges on the campaign map because I'm not really a fan. But anyway, let's get to it here. Slade X Beastmen versus the Skaven of Turin. So, we've got Morgar the Shadowgave leading the way, Bray Shaman Lore of Beasts. Looks like a couple of Ungor Raiders, some Hounds, we've got some Pigs as well, lots of Gore Herd with Shields. Excellent pick in this matchup, with some Ungor Herd as well, Spearman Ungor Herd. And, yeah, pretty straightforward, Harpies up in the air. I don't see any terror-causing units. I mean, I guess he does have the Manticore Summon, but no, actually doesn't even have the Manticore Summon, huh? I question this decision a little bit. Against the Skaven especially, I think you always need to have a terror-causing unit. Speaking of the Skaven, though, they have their own terror-causing units. We've got a Doom Wheel here, Hell Pit Abomination, Lord Skrolk leading the way with a Plague Priest. Yeah, interesting stuff. We've got Clan Rats here, Skaven Slave Spears, Clan Rat Spears, Rat Ogres, the Plague Pack, Light Scabs Plague Pack. Interesting choice here. I'm not the biggest fan of these guys at all, but, you know, they can work sometimes, maybe. The AoE immune to Psych is nice, certainly, even though he doesn't need it. And he's also got the Unbreakable Council Guard as well, so interesting. Yeah, no terror units for the Beastmen is a big mistake in my opinion. Yes. Yes. Should be interesting. A lot of Beastmen units coming up into a Vanguard position. Only the best Gore kind of hanging back with their leaders. The filthy Morgar here. Just corrupting the very ground with his stench. Disgusting. Meanwhile, just as gross, Who's grosser? Who do you guys think is more nasty? Morgr the Shadow Gave or Mr. No Eyes Filthy Pants here? Who's your what's favorite faction? Definitely the Empire. Bretonnia is a very, very close second, but it's got to be the Empire. Yep. I just like the human factions. What casters do the Beastmen have? They have a Brave Shaman Lore of Beasts, but he does not have the Manticore summon. He's rocking without it for whatever reason, so... Unless, yeah, that's what, Amber Spear, I think? Yeah, Amber Spear, Flock of Doom, so no Manticore summon. I have no idea. Skrulk? Yeah, Skrulk, okay. Skrulk is the grosser of the two. I'll accept that. I'll accept that. Looks like Turn's going to be kind of making his way over on the side here. Doesn't want to go just straight up and into the Beastman force, which definitely makes sense. Going to try and kind of roll up and probably take on one flank. Just slam this big death ball into one flank here, but getting a little bit wild with the Doom Wheel. There's not honestly a lot that the beasts have that can stop this besides the Razorgores. The Razorgores are going to be a little bit of a danger, but a little bit of lag there. Hopefully that subsides. Turn going to be squaring up now. The Harpies will be pretty decent here. They have high weapon strength, so nice Flock of Doom early on. Just getting a little bit of free damage in. And here comes the Doom Wheel running straight into the Blackhorns Ravagers. Excellent damage. Nice little side shot there. Oh, yeah. And we're getting rolling. See some of the Beastmen infantry starting to make contact here. Ooh, a nice shot. Probably did a little bit of friendly fire there. Actually, that was almost entirely friendly fire. Yeah, who are you shooting at, dude? That was just straight up betrayal. Very Skaven thing to do. But Rat Ogres and the Doom Wheel now just sandwich this unit very well. Hell Pit's going to be moving in as well. The Beastmen just charging straight in, more or less. Yeah, the Archers are going to be used, of course, probably against the Hell Pit here. Or the Rat Ogres. Any of those would be good targets, but you can see the Beastmen, they do have a very wide build, but they're having trouble bringing everything to bear. He's going to be able to get a full surround here, most likely, but wherever Turin's kind of death ball goes, it's going to start to just mulch through units here. You can see Blackhorn's Ravagers getting destroyed. The Razorgore hurt as well. One of his other only ways of dealing with that Doom Wheel just gets absolutely ransacked here. Skrulk's doing just fine. The Rat Ogres have taken some damage, but the Hell Pit's almost completely healthy as well. Very nice Flock of Doom, though. That's going to do a ton of damage on a lot of these high-value units, especially like the Plague Pack and the Council Guard here. That is excellent, excellent value. So, good back and forth so far. This Plague Priest's going to have to be careful. He's a little bit caught outside the blob. And a lot of the rats, as you would expect, the rat infantry not really holding up too well here. I mean, obviously the two elite ones will. But what happens when this blob starts to run out of steam a little bit? We'll see. Rat Ogres are still fighting resiliently for the time being. And Morgr's also mixed into the fight. A little bit of a dangerous place for old Morgr to be, but he should be fine here. Oh, another rat summon right in the face. Looks like actually Plague Monks this time. With their anti-infantry bonus, good weapon strength, they should be able to get in, start cutting up some of these Beastmen units relatively efficiently. Probably going to go, yep, into the second line here to try and get on those Ungor Raiders, which is an excellent pick. Obviously, Ungor Raiders are a pretty big danger to some various Skaven units here. Oh man, Morgr is getting wrecked though. I mean, granted, he's got pretty good defensive stats, but he really doesn't want to get routed off by Lord Skrulk here. Skrulk, obviously, with the leadership effect of that contamination, is a lot for Morgr to deal with, and he's just getting blasted and pushed around right now, so really rough situation for the Beastmen. Bestigor are cleaning up shop, though, almost completely healthy still, and they can get in and do some good armor-piercing damage on, like, this Doom Wheel, for example, and the Plague Priest potentially as well. Looks like we do have a Spawn summon up. Going to be coming in to probably try and bail out Morgr here, as he is just getting absolutely stepped on, but, yeah. Hell Pit Abomination, we're going to keep it nice and close here as this thing fights it out with the Spawn here. We got Rat Ogres and plenty of Rats infantry supporting. Oh, the Doom Wheel. Doom Wheel is a bit of an issue at this point, but you can see the Bestigor are getting some good armor-piercing attacks. Looks like the Pigs also came back from route momentarily, at least, and they might have gotten a little bit of damage in there. Another beautiful Flock of Doom here, just punishing this blob. But Skrulk, finishing off Morger here could be the deciding factor. The Beastmen obviously have pretty bad leadership in general, and losing out on their general here, on their lord, is going to be a big problem. That being said, he's not dead. He's still just running around in this blob, so he should be fine. And Harpy's being used to chase off rat ogres there. That's great. These these units can come back, start chasing more routing units. So the Beastmen definitely have plenty of sustained power here. But the balanced power not looking great for them as Morger gets taken out. He is a pretty big crutch on the balance of power, I should say. And yeah, as the Bestigor get terrified away here, there's not really enough anti-large AP here to deal with some of these big armored units. And especially against the Skaven, you know, you don't necessarily always expect the big armored units, right? The Doom Wheels, the Furnaces, but those are the units for the Skaven that can really carry this matchup. Normally, as I said before, I would, yeah, nothing to deal with the Hell Pit. The Ungol Raiders could have if they were able to get secure, but like they weren't going to have a hard time staying secure against the Doom Wheel, and just in general, very strong build from Turin. I might even swap this Hell Pit out for a second Doom Wheel, to be honest. But yeah, it's a very, very solid build from Turin. So he's going to go ahead and take that one, move on to the next round. 2-1 victory with the Skaven. Nice build there. Nice little blob build. Like it. Skaven outnumbered. That's a first. Yeah, I know, right? A little bit of a nice tight build there, but GG's. Yeah, great matches. That was a great series. Cool. So we're going to go ahead and check in with the bracket here. See. Still going. Just a second, guys. I'm going to throw some music on. And I'm going to put this up, and I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. Took me a little bit longer than I anticipated. I had to make a quick phone call, but I'm back. And just in time as well, because we got Felcon here ready to go with his Dark Elves against the Wood Elves here. I believe Felcon is also self-casting his own games. Yeah, let's have a look at what he's got. We've got Malekith here, as well as a second Black Dragon, so double dragon here. Very unsurprising for Felcon. Got some Dark Riders, Lanesh's Harvesters, some Shades as well, and some Harpies. So a very interesting build. Unit of Chariots as well. No real traditional infantry. Definitely going to be looking for kind of an interesting playstyle here. As for the Wood Elves, we've got, let's see, Dryads and Eternal Guards in the front. Glade Guard with Hagbane tips and Starfire shafts. A whole lot of Glade Guard. Wow, okay, so full-on 8 Glade Guard, which is allowed. Got some Glade Riders as well, so interesting. Glady, I'm guessing? Yep, Glady on horseback with double Waystalker. So the Wood Elves didn't bring a caster. I don't know about that. That is pretty questionable in my eyes. But we'll see. We shall see. Oh man, this is going to be wild. Gonna be wild. Yeah, I don't know about this build. I'm not real sold on this Wood Elf build here. I mean, the mass infantry, the mass Glade Guard thing is maybe gonna work, but I feel like it's gonna be really hard to protect against all of this mobile pressure. You know, you've got the chariots. There's really nothing to stop the chariots at all here, besides like the Glade Riders, and they're not gonna stop the chariots really. They're just gonna slow them down. So I don't know. I think Felcon, just from a build standpoint, has got this already, but we'll see. Immediately, these Glade Riders are going to probably regret all of their life decisions. Get swarmed right away by Harpies and Dark Riders and so on here. Yeah, this is a bad situation for them. Dark Riders actually have pretty good charge bonus at 40 for light cav. That's not bad. Not bad at all. So they're going to get in there, get some good damage done on those Glade Riders right off the bat. You can see here the Starfire shafts coming in. Not really sure who they're shooting at. Maybe that Black Dragon. But again, this Wood Elf force, I mean, there's no real home for the Dryads. There's just, yeah. Oh man, look at the breath attack, and the fire from the Shades there just deletes one unit of Eternal Guard completely. Also just deletes this Glade Guard here shooting down the side as well. So pro-dragon strats, as we would come to expect from Felcon here. Dragons then just drop down and stop that unit of Dryads from getting into the Shades there. So good stuff so far. Prey of Anathrema, and the mass cav for the Dark Elves has gotten to the back line here along with the Harpies, just bogging down all these Glade Guard here. And we'll be able to fire from a few different multiple layers here, but at the same time, Malekith jumps down to start to tie up some archers here. The Chariots coming in as well. Oh man, this is just a bad day all around for the Wood Elves, and I think they're probably going to be done for already. Yeah, a lot of their units are routing, just been shattered without doing much damage at all. I mean, these Harpies have taken some damage, Lanesh's Harvesters have taken some damage, but yeah, that's over. Woo, that was a quick one. Sometimes games just go a certain way. But that is, yeah. A little too many Glade Guard, not really enough to protect them against, especially against a very mobile build like this. Definitely just a hard counter there. So yeah, that was a little bit one-sided. Yeah, that was pretty brutal, but that's just how it goes. Check in on the page here. Let's see. Gonna be moving on. We'll have a few in progress here, so not that. Let's look at this versus Hadriz are currently fighting, which Felcon just won that, so we might be getting a Felcon versus Hadriz, in which case I'm for sure casting that one. Ern's opponent has not yet been decided between Chosen One and Iblik. Don't see either of those lobbies, so yeah. Guess we'll hang out for the time being. Wait for some lobbies to open up. Yeah, impressive. Yeah, that was that's a textbook right there. Pretty textbook. Going with that many infantry skirmishers that don't have 360 shooting is always going to be risky because that's a lot to have to micro and protect. In certain matchups at least, especially against a mobile player like Falcon. Some bigger trees, yeah, bigger trees probably would have helped, or just wild riders even. Um, yeah, yeah, it's tough to say. That's a pretty strong build from Falcon. As for taking on the Wood Elves, like you'd really have to stop and think about that one, how they could take that on. You maybe could try and contest in the air double dragons, because with the Helm of Discord and with your own Forest Dragon, you could maybe take that on. Be interesting. Here. We got some of the quarterfinal matchups being decided. Should be able to jump in those relatively soon. Checking in here. Yeah, the double dragon. I like that double dragon. With Malekith, it's pretty good. You can also run it with the Supreme Sorceress. It's decent. Malekith, I don't know. It depends on the matchup, but yeah, too much ranged for sure. Sure. That's really tough to protect that much. Maybe we can jump in this one here. Although I don't want to miss any of the quarterfinal games. Yeah, I would definitely want to jump in that round if I can. So we go ahead and pop this over here. You guys still can't see it, so... Oh, well, never mind. If you want to see the bracket, I'm going to go ahead and spam it in chat. You can follow along. You guys just joining us? Yep, okay. Just 1 second here. Okay, I'm here. Sorry about that. Check in over here, and... Yeah, maybe I will jump in this lobby, because it looks like we're still waiting on a few others, so... Jump in here. Green blocker back up. Like we're going to be getting potentially Norska versus Lizardmen here. See? Guys lock their choices in as. Oh, yes. All of the yes. Volks Grad, yeah, an interesting map. There's definitely a lot you can do in terms of like these kind of broken up maps, like Volks Grad or Norden. Two pretty good examples that are like balanced but also have a lot of terrain. What factions? Wood Elves, Beastmen, to a degree, Greenskins can all take really good advantage of like terrain features like that. Beastmen, and Wood Elves especially, Greenskins to a lesser degree, but yeah, can really set up some fun, like, mass vanguard ambushes and just do some different things in that. Interesting. Now this time we're going to have dwarfs. Dwarfs on this map is a little bit risky just because there really are not very good artillery lines of sight at all. So we'll see. You could go with potentially like a more of a air-focused build here and not really bring too much artillery, which would also be pretty impactful. Yeah, for Norska, kind of just depends. There's some different things you can do, but definitely want some chariots, in my opinion. I mean, that's not really news, right? Chariots against the dwarves, but see. Dammonton, another 10, man. Thanks again. Wow, so generous today. One more for the amazing games and great cast. Thanks. Much appreciated. Are they honoring No Heck November? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think that's well, we'll see. I haven't actually seen either of the vampire factions yet, so haven't really had a chance to check. Curran did play the Tomb Kings, and I guess he didn't bring Lore of Nehek, so I guess yeah, we have been honoring No Heck November. Oh boy, this is a build. Norska build is out of control right now. I'm pretty excited to see it in action, actually. Oh, looks like Aerocrest just popped in here for a second. Yeah, not too many lobbies open right now. Kind of just like waiting in between rounds for some people to just finish up. But Nehekara Horsemen? Yeah, I guess that's true. He did have Nehekara Warriors as well, although they got stepped on pretty hard in that game. Yeah. Yeah, so maybe you count that? No Lore of Nehek? I mean, the Tomb Kings don't have Lore of Vampires, right? So you can't really go no Nehek, no Vamp them unless you go no Lore of Nehek, which I would argue is actually a bigger nerf because you're eliminating an entire lore of magic. And not only that, but it's their only source of healing outside of the realm of souls. Oh. Invocation, though. True that. Did not have Invocation of Nehek. Funny thing is, too, is that it's like Vampire Coast, it's a little bit harder, but with the counts especially, like, you don't even need Invocation of Nehek. They have so many passive healing sources, you don't need it. I mean, it's good to have. It's a very strong spell. Absolutely, you want it, but you don't need it. After playing Vampire counts, I haven't played counts much at all, and then in the last week or two, I played a lot of counts, and yeah, you don't really need it. Let's just say that. I've been winning with terrible meme builds without Invocation of Nehek. Somehow, I'm winning still because, you know, healing everywhere. You have so many different passive healing sources. Ridiculous. Because let's see. You have Master of the Dead from the Necromancer. You have the Lore attribute. You have the Unholy Lodestone Corpse Cart. You have the Mortis Engine. And potentially you also have Kemmler's Sword as well. So that's 5 passive healing effects that you can back. Plus a lot of units have their own innate regeneration, so 6. You can get up to 6 passive regeneration effects without Invocation of Nehek. Like when you summon a zombie, when you get that little tick, even without the lore attribute, it's still 5 passive healing sources. Like on, like, let's say the Sternsman. Like, there's just come on. Anyway, let's move this army blocker out of here and take a look at these armies. For Norska, we've got some Marauder Great Weapons here. We've got some basic Marauders up front. Interesting to see the chevrons on those guys. Whole bunch of trolls. We've seen Norse controls used to good effect by Slade earlier, so we'll check them out this time. We've got some Warhounds as well, and some champions with great weapons. So pretty straightforward build. The leadership is going to be a Bale Fiend and a Chieftain on foot. Wow, I'm not sure about this. I mean, I guess he's just supposed to be like a cheap support lord with his fight or die, but I don't know about that. I think you definitely want to take chariots, single model chariots here. Ulfric on a chariot, even the Chieftain on a chariot. You go Sirth X style, but you just, the caster as well should be on a chariot. I mean, unless you specifically want Lore of Shadows for something, Enfeebling Foe in the Withering, I mean, I guess. He has so much armor piercing already though, so I really don't see, you know, kind of the synergies of this build, if you will. Like, there's not a lot of cross synergy. Like, if you were to really want trolls to get their best value, I would say you take a Lore of Metal caster on a chariot, take Glittering Robe to give him more armor and leadership, and you would also probably want either a Death or Fire caster on a chariot to help counter cannons with Spirit Leech or Fireball. Again, just more single model chariots as well. As for the dwarves, you can see they're going to be ranging far and fast up the hill here, just straight up. Warriors of Dragonfire Pass, Norgrimling's Ironbreakers, we've got a Rune Lord, Gotrek and Felix here, some Trollhammer Torpedoes, definitely going to be looking to hammer some trolls, Longbeards out to the sides, and the back here we've got Dragonback Slayers, so a nice little tight Dawi box, and he definitely wants to push forward a little bit more, does not want to try and fight this battle on the back side of this slope, not the greatest idea, probably wants to push forward, and even if you were to hole up in this little forest patch right here, that's actually going to be the best, because obviously his units don't count as large, right? None of them count as large, so fighting in the forest here will debuff the trolls and the Famir and these other large units here, so Trollhammer's opening up already though, and these Marauders are just going to wash up against the Ironbreakers here, and this is the thing too with the regular great weapons, even the Marauder great weapons up against Longbeards are going to struggle pretty bad. 50 melee defense on those Longbeards, and only 37 attack on those Marauders, so they just don't match up that great in terms of stats here. You can see they do kind of get a little bit of an awkward side charge, but here come the Trolls. Norgrimlings, shields out. Oh man, they take some hits, but they do stop up the charge of the Trolls relatively well. Looks like the Rune Lord going to be popping his buffs. Gotrek and Felix in the fight as well. The Trollhammers, let's check in with them. Doing some good damage over on the side here. Not sure exactly what they're focusing on. Probably on the Trolls themselves, yes. So, Trollhammers in action, doing exactly what they were meant to do, which is blow up Trolls. And haven't actually dropped any models left. Oh, as soon as I say that, just drops like 2 or 3 models there. Does a ton of HP damage, and those Trolls are gone. Trollhammer's definitely living up to their name at this point. This Dawi defensive formation as well. Nice little, what is that? Pentagon here. Little 5-sided fort, star fort, if you will. Nice and classic, and these Longbeards just holding up great. Again, Trolls you would think would do well against Longbeards because of the armor piercing, but only 34 attack, and with their charge bonus worn off, they're going to struggle to get through that 50 melee defense of Longbeards. That's why shielded Longbeards, ooh, taking a bit of friendly fire there, but they are one of the most cost-effective mid-tier shielded infantry in the game. They're just such a strong unit. One of the reasons why I much prefer the shielded Longbeards over great weapons. But that being said, Norgrimling's still holding the line here, and the Norskins are starting to kind of wash up on this balance of power here a little bit. As I said, I just don't think that, I mean, they don't have any terror as well, and again, the Chariots, there's nothing to stop the Chariots here really besides the Rune Lord. I mean, granted, if the Chariots do get stopped by the Rune Lord and the 2 Trollhammers focus on them, they're going to get deleted real quick. But at the same time, those Trollhammers, I mean, there's not a lot to protect them. He could just be rolling around like crazy with especially with the 3 Chariots, just kind of ping-ponging back and forth, doing a ton of armor-piercing anti-infantry. But the Hound's going to try and squeeze through here in the late game. But Longbeards have honestly held up super well. The Champions up in the back line might be a little bit of an issue, as long as the Trollhammers can stay safe. But oh man, the Norskin Lord just gets KO'd. That poor little Marauder boy on foot just got decapitated by Gotrek, probably. Trolls getting slayed there. Dawi resolutely holding their ground. I think this is probably decided at this point. Yeah, those Marauders just getting absolutely trashed on these Champions here. And Champions, I mean, they're pretty decent. especially in this matchup, but up against that withering armor-piercing fire of those troll hammers, it's not going to be enough. But oh man, the trolls getting up into the back line might be able to get onto the Iron Drakes here. Here come the Dragonback Slayers, though, going to say nope. Nice side charge into the trolls, and the troll hammer torpedoes from the other side get a beautiful crossfire. Oh yeah, excellent, excellent stuff. You can see quite a few of the dwarf units routing, but the Norskins also having serious problems, and they are just teetering on army losses at this point, just teetering. Really only this healthy group of great weapons down here holding it up, the fact that these trolls are coming back from rout, but the trolls are not going to stay for long. These hunters as well with the throwing axes, only 8 kills. Really not a fan of the throwing axes. I don't think they do a whole lot for you here. I'm not really sure what they were shooting at the whole time, but yeah, this nice little tight Dawi box here. Gotrek going to be defending the hilltop. Oh yeah, let's get that nice silhouetted view of the Dawi holding the line. You can see Felix there towering above the Dawi, but such as it is for the Manling. Oh man, what an epic battle. Even if it wasn't super close, it was a bit rough for Norska there. Very cool visuals. Yeah, it can be. It can be, Ben. Norska has a couple builds specifically that are pretty decent here, but you do run into some issues, absolutely. A number of situations. Troll hammers are really good here. Gyros are really good here. Gotrek is really good here, so interesting one. Those trolls are dining in hell tonight. Yes, they are. Wow, yes, they are. They got exploded right in the face. Right in the face. Yeah, I mean, from a build standpoint, I don't know about that Morskin build. As I mentioned, you definitely want the chariots, and you want to try and go 3 single model chariots if you can. Either Wolfric or a Chieftain, you get 2 casters, one of 2 different lores, probably. And from there, I mean, the ROR Mammoth, because of the damage resistance, you can, depending on the map, you could viably get it in without it taking too much damage. Then what happens with the fight is kind of up for question. You could also take Flamestorm. Just Vortex spells in general are pretty good here, but Flamestorm is probably the best. Get that weakness to fire proc to help mitigate some of the magic resistance, and it just does a ton of damage. And with Troll Hammer, very correct name, absolutely. Living up to their namesake, just hammering those trolls. So cool. Let's see here. Still waiting on Chosen One versus Biblik to fight Turin. Looks like, yeah, Legatus and Hadriz are still on their round as well. And then the winner of this one goes on to fight Imperator. Interesting. Most of them have been 2-0s. There have been a couple 2-1s, like Turin and Slade, so I'm definitely glad we got that series. Oh man, Wicked had a tough series against Thankful. It's like Thankful that's playing currently had a tough series, 2-1. Han as well went 2-1 with Cypher, so we could see a 2-1 in this particular matchup as well. But make sure we have the army blocker in place. Interesting. How are the maps chosen? So the maps are set by the tournament organizer. So if you go to the bracket, then you'll see the maps are on each round. Like if you look up at the top where it says like round 1, round 2, you'll see the maps are listed there. Aerocrastic is the one who picked the maps. He's the organizer of the tournament. Been good so far. We're what, 1.5 hours deep? Not too bad. You have somewhat of a time limit on myself. Can't go more than like 3 hours more. But I don't think this. I think we'll probably be done in the 2 hours. If I had to guess, depends on how people are how quick people are at picking their armies. But Greenskins versus Tomb Kings. So we've seen this one once already. Or was it this one? No, it wasn't. That's right. It was Norska versus Kings. So this should be interesting. It's kind of similar, honestly, as fighting Norska. Not exactly the same, obviously, because it's undead, but kind of just have to, again, prepare for the big armored monsters. Can be your biggest issue is the Greenskins. Tomb Guard, yes and no. I mean, they'll beat most of the lower tier Greenskins infantry, but especially like if WA's active. Sorry guys, my voice is kind of... Just a sec. Anyway, yeah. Tomb Guard, I mean, they get crumped pretty hard by certain infantry, and even like Night Goblins, while they have WA active and some other effects, like they can definitely trade upward pretty well, so it's a little bit tough. I mean, you really don't have any great infantry options as the Tomb Kings here. Tomb Guard are the best, probably, but you also, I mean, Skeletons, they're decent in that they cause fear and they're cheap. So, you know, against lower leadership units like Goblins, for example, they can hold up okay just simply due to that fact, even though they're so much worse on stats. But it kind of just depends. It's a interesting matchup. A lot of variables in terms of infantry composition. Intern versus Falcon? Yeah, I hope so. I saw that possible on the bracket as well. That would be neat. Falcon's going to need to beat either Hadris or Legatus, both of which are very good opponents. And of course, Turin has to win out on his round. As looks like Chosen One and Biblic still have not gotten their sorted out. There's sorted. And these guys are going to get rolling, so pop this. And here we go. Not that. Grimgore, maybe. Maybe. Would be great. Yeah, I would be happy for that matchup. Who else is streaming? Falcon is streaming his own games. And Aerocrastic is also streaming on Twitch, so I could probably grab some of you guys. Here is Aerocrastic. He is also casting. Falcon. Or... I don't know, I'll have to find his link in a second. For some reason. I live followed. Maybe he's not streaming. I think he still is, though. Anyway, let's have a look at some builds here. Just get out. Okay. So for the Greenskins, coming in with 2 Doom Divers. Pretty interesting in this matchup. They can kind of pressure his Shabti Great Bows. Yeah, not bad. Got some Goblins. Plenty of Goblins. Skarsnik and a Night Goblin. Interesting. We've got Night Goblins up front as well. Pretty risky to go with a Goblin Core here. I guess he does have a few Biggins. Yep, looks like a couple Biggins and a single Spider, so not all Gobbos. But we've also got a heavy line of Wolf Rider Archers. Interesting choice in this matchup. They do have 60 unit models, high volume of fire. They do very little missile damage, though. They're fast. They've got decent ammo, not the best. Obviously, the Mange Marauders with better missile damage and 10 AP per shot, which is pretty solid overall. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see, Turn. Yeah, it looks like there may have been a rule break in the round previous to yours between Chosen One and Biblic, which is why it's taking so long. But, yeah, Legatus and Leonidas are probably just killing each other right now, is what's happening there. You guys will have to each get through one more round before you have the potential to face each other. That's funny. That's funny, Mole Spaghetti. Alright, Doom Diver's going to be opening up for the Tomb Kings. We've got, let's see, Skeleton Horsemen Archers. We've got 2 Tomb Scorpions, Ushabti, Tomb Guard in the front line, Skeleton Warriors, and Spears. Ark in the Black on horseback. Try saying that 5 times fast. 2 Ushabti, we've got a Necrotect, Tomb Guard. Pretty straightforward build. Double Scorpion is quite strong here, definitely. You can see the Wolf Rider Archers going pretty aggressive here, are going to get caught up a little bit, and they'll probably instantly rout if they get caught by those Scorpions. So he needs to be a bit careful, but yeah, it's actually not bad. You see the Doom Divers actually landed a couple hits there on the Scorpions. I might, if I was the Greenskins player, I might honestly just keep those Doom Divers focused on the Scorpions, but he's taking a lot of damage right now on those Mangy Marauders, and he's going to need them into this late game situation here, but excuse me, voice is kind of going out. Ragnarok Spider should be able to provide plenty of anti-large. Definitely wants to come forward and try and counter the mass of the Scorpions, because the Scorpions, I mean, they can just push through and get straight onto these Doom Divers, no issues. So Arcan coming up using some summoning here. We've got Biggins coming forward, starting to meet in the infantry line. Those Ushabti are definitely taking a pounding from those Doom Divers. Doom Divers not to be trifled with. Definitely a nice little pick there, but they are accurate enough to pretty consistently hit the Tomb Scorpion, which is not true of many units. Many units in the game struggle to hit Tomb Scorpions, so that's pretty good there. Let's see, a couple of hits. Yeah, right on. Not bad. I'm quite impressed, actually. Those Doom Divers doing some really solid DPS over time. You can see here Skarsnik is defending the line. Unfortunately, those Biggins, or Night Goblins rather, got crumped on pretty hard, but the Spider came forward on this other side here to help counter the Ushabti coming forward, meaning the Scorpions mostly have free reign. Skarsnik himself coming in, though. He's got his Gabo Air Force performing airstrikes, so he needs to come in here and hold the line, you know, provide some laser designation from the Zapper there, and get those airstrikes inbound. Doing good damage. Looks like the Necrotect was able to restore some of that damage, so not the best, but at the same time, Night Gobos are dying, so there's that. The Tomb Guard are pushing through quite aggressively. Scorpion Legion also completely healthy just about as well. So the infantry fight ended up not going great for the Greenskins. I do think they overinvested a little bit too much on those, on the, what do you call it, the Night Goblins? Maybe it would have been better off to go with Skulkers here for the armor piercing at the very least, but we'll see. It's definitely not over yet. We're going to get a bit of a second phase as a lot of these units come back from route, but the Skeleton Horsemen going to push up and around the flank, probably try and push back and shut down these Doom Divers here, since they're kind of the main threat still remaining, but this line is crumbling pretty quickly, and yeah, it looks like with the summoned Ushabti here, with both these Scorpions still having so much HP, it's not going to be enough. He just doesn't have enough time with these Doom Divers, you know, to really keep things going. I mean, granted, the Spider's still very healthy as well, but yeah, you see now he realizes he needs the Spider to come after these, oh no, actually going after those Ushabti. Yeah, I'm not really sure. This infantry fight's just going south so quickly, but the Night Goblins are going to try and give their best here. The Mangy Marauder is also throwing in some armor-piercing shots, but oh no, Skarsnik got isolated here, and the Necrotechs actually, believe it or not, will be a very good counter to Skarsnik specifically. They have really good weapon strength in anti-infantry, so, sorry, not weapon strength, melee attack rather, and anti-infantry, so even though they don't have the best weapon strength in the world, they'll get consistent hits against Skarsnik. It looks like they were actually able to take him out there, so that's a huge loss for the Greenskins. That's probably going to be game blouses for them. Yeah. Grimgore on a Troll, that would be great. Or how about an Arachnarok Spider with a Goblin Great Shaman? Just saying. Or not the Spider riding the Shaman. That's, you know what I mean. Yeah, things are crumbling very quickly for the Greenskins with Skarsnik going down there, so no surprises. Yeah, the Doom Divers, I think, you know, I like his thinking there, but I think it's tough to protect that against the Tomb Kings, especially against a very concerted rush like this. I think, honestly, you just try and counter-rush them, because Greenskins are one of the strongest rush factions in the game. You just try and out-monster mash with, like, two giants and a queen. Two giants and a queen. You can do a queen, another spider, and a giant. You can do, yeah, any combination like that, but just in general, you need that heavy stopping power, I think, to get through the constructs here. And I mean, granted, the skeleton horseman archers would have been a danger to two giants, but other than that, he really didn't have much that was going to be of threat to them, right? Like a giant, and the Arachnarok spider just kind of got worn down over time by Ushabti, but giants do so much weapon damage that they'll just about one-shot those Ushabti models. And yeah, it's not gonna be too pretty. So DNR Chosen takes that one. And we're gonna go ahead and bow out and pop on over to the lobbies. Yeah, GG's. Interesting. That Tomb King, the double Scorpion with Arcan, definitely very strong. Very, very strong. So, ooh, it looks like we got Scripter versus Grabbling. And DNR versus Imperator. So we're going to go ahead and jump in with Scripter versus Crabbling as our first quarterfinal match. Check in chat here. Things going along swimmingly. Things, reading messages people are sending me. Okay. And I should probably put up an army blocker, because army picking is happening. That. There, yes, there, okay. Okay. So, looks like we're gonna have Dwarves versus Chaos, and we're on Pack Ice Bay, which is a map that does have some choke point potential. So the Dwarves might be looking to stand their ground. That being said, on either side of the choke points, there are forested hills, right? So it's going to be tough. It's going to be interesting. Tough and interesting, as they say. I don't know if anyone says that, but they do now. Okay, sorry. People sending me messages here. Yeah, so Dwarves versus Chaos. We saw this one once already. Gore beasts get annihilated by gunfire. And did a great job there. Bit of a different map, different circumstances, different players, so I'd imagine we'll see different builds entirely. But, it's anyone's guess, to be honest. Here we go. Nope, not that. Here we go. I'm getting better at this, guys. Money's on the Dowie. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. Chaos, it's tough to say on this map. This map is kind of the big variable for me on both builds, because this map has weird terrain features, and so we've got we've got this kind of choke point here. It's a pretty wide choke point though, and then you've also got these kind of wooded high ground areas here that do have, you know, potentially a couple more kind of hot gates areas that you can fight in. But yeah, there's a lot of forest, and this main kind of choke point here. See some deployment like up on this high ground to try and shoot down to whatever's in the choke point. You can try and take the choke point and hold it. Try and take one of these high ground positions and like split your forces here and hold that with some ranged units like artillery firing from up top. But because of the forest, it doesn't always work that great. Yeah, it's definitely a lot of variables. A lot of variables here in Pack Ice Bay. I mean, they say bay. I don't really see any water anywhere. Do you guys? I mean, it's all frozen, I guess, but you'd think there'd be an actual bay somewhere. Chaos has no answer to gyro spam. Yeah, that's true. It's true, because you can't summon manticores. You can only take 2 manticores and a dragon at best for your 3 flying units, and taking a dragon is a terrible idea. Because you're just asking to get shot to pieces by everything else. So, yeah. Yeah, Chaos doesn't have great answers for the gyro spam. Dwarves have the ridge. Well, yeah, you say that. Dwarves have the ridge, but Chaos also has a ridge right here, right? So Dwarves can deploy up here, though, and then defend this point, which is definitely going to be pretty advantageous. The fact that it's forested, heavily forested, you know, the Dwarves aren't going to suffer any debuffs, but the large units will. So let's have a look for the Warriors of Chaos. Big Bird making an appearance here with only Final Transmutation, and funny enough, he also brought Metal Shifting. So this is a bit of a mistake in my opinion. You only have Final Transmutation, you don't want Metal Shifting, and in my opinion, you don't really want Final Transmutation, especially against the Dwarves. You're just much better off going with... You don't really need Transmutation of Lead, just Searing Doom, honestly. Searing Doom and Plague of Rust to try and get the most out of Metal Shifting. Pretty strong here. We've got Chaos Warriors with great weapons, a couple Exalted Heroes on Manticores, lots of great weapons, Marauders, Chaos Warriors. No Chosen, but Gore Beast Chariot. And it looks like another Gore Beast Chariot up here, so fairly straightforward. I'm a little bit questioning the lack of mobility, like there's no like hounds for facing routing units, stuff like that, but... Oh yeah, take a Hell Cannon park back here. Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. Or take Coast and park Queen Bess back here as well. Same idea. Yeah. Could be quite effective. Although, yeah, there's some different things you could do. But yeah, definitely a Hell Cannon and indirect fire roll from back here would be very strong in this situation. Because you know the Dwarves are probably going to advance, unless they try and like camp you up on this ridge and then come down this way. They're probably going to advance up through this hot gates, and just having that consistent, you know, fire coming up and over is going to be, would be quite helpful rather. But yeah. Yeah, this Chaos build, he went really wide. And I think that's going to end up being a little bit of a mistake here, just because, I mean, he can't really bring all of his numbers to bear, right? He can't really get a good surround on the Dawi. He's going to have to fight them front on. Which, I mean, granted, this Dawi build, he also just brought Dwarf Warriors with great weapons, which aren't the best. He does have some blasting charges, which is great. Iron Breakers, the Nor Grimlings, best defensive unit in the game with their 82 melee defense and 90 unit models. Oh man, they're going to be holding the line for sure. But the rest of this is pretty cheap. We do have some Giant Slayers, Grumbling Guard actually, and Dragonbacks in the back. More Dwarf Warriors with great weapons. Trollhammer Torps, only 1 unit of them, but still. Also got Felix, along with a Rune Smith and Grom Brindle. Interesting stuff. You can see the old Birdie Doo is coming forward to get a good charge in here. Dwarf Warriors, of course, don't have charge defense. He doesn't have the best AP values, but... Big Bird has had successive missile resistance nerfs, so he's probably going to get lit up pretty bad by those Trollhammers. Actually, not too bad, and they ended up doing a bit of friendly fire as well, so I don't know how effective that actually was, but the Gore Beast crashing in from the high ground did a bunch of damage there to those Dwarf Warriors, and Chaos Player definitely doing what he needs to in disrupting this backline, certainly. He does want to keep especially the Iron Drakes occupied as long as he can, but yeah...
Oh man, literally forced into the hotgates here. As the blasting charges open up, they do, in fact, do fire damage. And so this is quite hot. But the Gorbeast charging through, getting some good damage in. The fact that the Dwarves line is kind of compressed here is going to be a little bit of a problem. But at the same time, they really didn't put too many marbles into ranged units. They're mostly trying to melee jam with Chaos, which can be a bit risky. But you can see already Marauders getting absolutely exploded and chased off here. No one's surprised, but... Oh, here comes the final transmutation. Both the Manticores drop down as well, so looks like the Trollhammer torpedoes are actually taking some pretty substantial damage, and, I mean, granted, the Trollhammers, because they do have a low model count, will take a ton of damage from that final transmutation specifically, so maybe it was a good idea to bring that spell specifically to counter that one unit, and you can see they're pretty much done for. Still 8 unit models, but man, that was absolutely brutal. And the main issue that the Dwarf player is going to run into now is he doesn't really have tools to deal with the chariots or the monsters. There's a lot of mass in this Chaos army that's not infantry, right? You've got Big Bird, you've got the 2 Manticores, you've got the Gorbeast chariots as well. It's all going to be a lot to deal with. As long as the Chaos player stays mobile with everything and doesn't get tied down for too long, then he should be able to bring things away. Yeah, Crabling doing a really good job here. Scripter, unfortunately, just kind of got jammed on there a little bit, but I love the double Exalted Manticore pick. Exalted Manticores, pretty good stats, and the fact that they don't enrage versus the Feral Manticore, and they're not that much more expensive, I don't think. And, you know, they even give Encourage as well, which is kind of nice. Very good stuff. Oh man, who's the unlucky soul getting landed on? Is that Grombrindle and his little hero squad here? Not sure what happened to Felix. He's still here fighting, okay. So Felix and Grombrindle still being relatively healthy is nice, but Big Bird is going to be tough to catch. Even with his smoke bomb here, Grombrindle's going to have a hard time. He got a hit in there, but then immediately got knocked over. And yeah, Big Bird just continuing to troll around at will. Chariots trolling around at will as well. Marauders coming back from route here. And let's see. Norgrimlings, Dragonback Slayers, anyone holding still? Yeah, Norgrimlings, I'm not sure. They must have got beat up pretty hard. They, yeah, 50 models even. Yeah. Sorry, guys, my voice is kind of giving out a little bit. But I think, yeah, Dawi have this one pretty much lost at this point. I really don't think they're going to be able to come back from this. These Norgrimlings are going to continue to fight tooth and nail until the bitter end, but just the Chariots and the Manticores being loose, really not having the tools to deal with them very well is the issue here. You really only had the one anti-large. I mean, the Slayers, yes, but Slayers, it's not the same as having good anti-large missile units. And having some gyros here would have been perfect, because yes, he does have the 2 Manticores try and counter gyros, but if you can draw them out of position and with ground fire support, like from Thunderers, or even the Trollhammers, you can somewhat kite them around with the gyros, right? So it's not the worst. And then you would also have the stopping power to take down these chariots. Big Bird is going to be a pain, but he's not that tanky in melee, so eventually he's going to get worn down. But man, these Norgrimlings still making a stand here, just absolutely covered head to toe in blood. Gorbeast coming in, and I love the Gorbeast model. Definitely looks really cool. Too bad you don't see these guys more often. Definitely a cool unit. But, yeah, Dwarves making their final stand here. The leadership's not really holding up too great. You can see Felix is not even close to his healing cap. Still had quite a bit of healing left to give. But, surrounded completely by Chaos Warriors at this point. Oh, man, Big Bird comes in with a big splash attack, sending literally everyone flying in every direction. Yeah. Felix plus Grombrindle is a waste of money. I mean, I don't know. I kind of get it in the late game. I just think... If you're taking Felix, I think you almost want to take, you got to take Gotrek. I think this build would have benefited from Gotrek quite a bit, actually. But just in general, having Gotrek here, I don't necessarily hate the pick of Grombrindle. I mean, the smoke bomb is really nice, the melee defense component, and the speed debuff and everything, but I think, honestly, you just go with a lord that's cheaper, either a Rune Lord or even Belagar. If you cheap him out, just take... his charge defense ability. You give Felix charge defense and more melee defense as well. I mean, he's super cheap. He has really good stats, and you're not paying too much extra for anything that you don't need, right? But yeah, a little bit tough on the dwarf side. Definitely needed some more of an air force here, but that smoke bomb comes and allows him to get some hits, but at the same time, it's not enough really. Doesn't last long enough, and Grombrindle himself can just get knocked around by other units. So yeah, I see what he was going for there. Grombrindle's certainly strong. The flash bomb helps a lot, but just not going to be enough in this late game. You can see Felix actually did manage to get reasonably close to his healing cap here, but just getting ripped apart by those Manticores, and now Big Bird coming in as well. It's not going to be enough. Yep, he's done for. Leadership is gone. I mean, he's still regenerating a little bit, which is kind of funny, and also giving some regeneration to like this Runesmith and Grombrindle, but yeah, they'll just get cycle charged to death at this point. Yeah, exactly. To do what? Yeah, exactly. Again, against Chaos, it's tough because all their monsters tend to be really mobile. Like, you really can't pin them down. Against other factions that have slower monsters like Norska, you can kind of force them into a weird situation, and it also depends on the build and deployment and kind of map and everything as well. But in general, if you have that hero squad, the 3 heroes, even if your whole army dies, specifically if you have an Air Force build, you don't really care. I mean, obviously you want your army on the ground to do as much as they can, but if it's just those 3 heroes holding out at the end of the day, like, that's just fine. They'll hold out for long enough that you're almost guaranteed get through all your gyro ammo, right? Now, there's some variables there with the Manticores and stuff too, but that's my thinking of with that triple hero squad. And you also take them as cheap as possible, right? So you take yeah, 1100 Gotrek, 800 Felix, and like 1100 Belagar. So yeah, you're right, probably about 3,000 points. Little bit less than what when I would kit it out, but yeah, exactly. Yeah, the warriors with great weapons too, I think, are a pretty terrible pick, to be honest. Like, they don't really have the melee attack to touch most Chaos units. You're paying for less melee defense and armor piercing that you're not going to get any value from. So I think that's a pretty big mistake. But hello, what's up, Ronan? GG. Yeah, this is an interesting one. It was a tough situation for the dwarves there. I questioned that build a little bit, but yeah. So for me, I mean, that's 5 dwarf warriors with great weapons, 2,500 points. How would I reallocate that? Probably all to Air Force units, but. Yes, Gojira, yes, you got to see some Warp Chicken, and not even that, but a Warp Chicken victory over the dwarfs nonetheless. It's always a good time. I'm a huge fan of Warp Chicken. You don't really see Chaos that much these days, and usually people are trying to be fun with Archaon, but Big Bird is still legit. Still one of my favorite legendary lords in the game. Probably one of the best in terms of competitive multiplayer too, to be honest. I mean, like, for really competitive Chaos builds, he is the go-to for quite a few, I think. For most matchups, I would say. Either Big Bird or maybe Sigvald. Archaon is okay in some matchups, but the Dragon Sorcerers honestly can be better than Archaon in certain matchups. Just they have breaths and they actually have innate fire damage. And, you know, not Great Arcane Conduit, but Arcane Conduit have more HP on the dragon as well. Granted, it's a bit riskier. It's a bigger target, certainly, but yeah, I think Chaos Lord on a Chaos Fire Sorcerer Lord on a dragon specifically, probably better than Archaon. Maybe not purely as a melee combatant, of course, but I think just overall. Yeah, I mean, his missile resistance, his animations also make him super competitive too, because he has I mean, his charge animation is literally like 110 speed. Like, it's inescapable. He has huge splash attacks. He's great at disruption. He's really hard to pin down as well. Like, he has great escapability. So, something real quick. Just gotta let somebody know here. Okay, gotta clear something up real quick. Just wanted to clear that up before the match got started, so we wouldn't have to go back. Yep. Back. Why Kolek is not good anymore? Well, Kolek is still decent. He's just not amazing because he's kind of a trap. Like, he's expected at this point. People expect Shaggoths from Chaos, so they're going to bring tools with them. And because he's the Shaggoth at the end of the day, like, he gets canned pretty hard by a lot of the tools against Chaos. So, like, yes, he's very good, very strong, especially in certain matchups. But I do think that he's a little bit of a trap unit sometimes. Yeah, too much AP missiles. Everyone has good anti-large, both good. The matchups I would take him in: Bretonia, he's pretty good. He's can be decent against Lizardmen as well. Beastmen also, he's pretty good against Beastmen. Oh, it looks like Scripter's actually going with Bretonia. Okay, so Bretonia versus Greenskins should be interesting. This is a nice matchup. Checking in on the bracket. That looks like Turin and Chosen One are getting their round going, as is Hadris and Felcon. So hopefully, I'd imagine Aerocrastic's probably casting Turin versus Chosen One. We're going to keep it here until the end of this round. On some things here. Good. Favorite unit in the game right now? That's a tough question. Really tough question. Yeah, I'm going to have to get back to you on that one. Let me think about it for a little bit. Here. 116. Yeah, thank you all for joining, by the way. It's been awesome today. Had a great time. Pretty consistent viewership throughout as well, which is awesome. Appreciate it. Appreciate y'all being here, watching these awesome games with me. I'm a good time. do actually get some Bretonnia action in today, although it's definitely up against a pretty tough opponent. This is also kind of a build roulette matchup as well. Although I will say that if you go really heavy in the Air Force as Bretonnia, it can be difficult for the Greenskins to bring enough to bear to deal with that. You have that super heavy Air Force, like you can shock areas of the battle so hard that you'll insta-route units just about. Like the Greenskins really don't have the stats to hang against something like that. But we'll see. There are some different directions you can go as well with Bretonians. Lots of Grail Knights. Potentially, you could do Gotrek and Felix in the Fae and try and go with like a Death Star with Grail Guardians. A little bit risky, but you can. Grail Guardians have really good melee. Although against the high attack of the Greenskins specifically, I don't know if you... I mean, you might be able to heal sustain through most of it, but I mean, because they have high attack, especially with Wa active and Warzak potentially throwing out Onewood Staffs as well. Of course, Fist of Gork here is really, really strong for the magic damage and everything. Yeah. Interesting matchup. The Green Knight is potentially a danger here, but on the flip side, Warzag has single target magic damage, and he has, Fist of Gork as well, which also imbues magic damage. You can definitely run into a situation where the Green Knight gets stepped on pretty hard. Alright, looks like these guys are ready to rock. Rock and roll. Classic Bretonnia versus pretty classic matchup. Yeah, if you didn't want to go too heavy into the Air Force and still have some kind of a ground force, you could go, I guess, with like Lewin, 1 Hippogriff, 2 Pegasus Knights. That would also probably be pretty strong. And then just go with a little bit wider of a ground force. That way, that would enable. If you cut one of the hippos, you could get a few more ground knights. I think. Tomb Scorpion or Natty Bubos? No. Oh no, sorry, but no. I mean, they're cool. Don't get me wrong. Tomb Scorpions are awesome to look at, but there's fight. Waiting on these guys here. Have a look. Let's have a look. Yeah, still all the quarterfinal games are going on, so here we go. Yeah, I agree because their HP is so low. Yeah, they end up taking damage even in regular combat pretty consistently. Their HP, right? So, yeah. Maybe that's something that they could do is just make them like actual full health units. Just give them weakness to magic or something. I don't know. There's the ethereal units are just kind of in a weird place right now. There are a handful that are useful, but am I dropping some frames here? Say I'm dropping any frames. My side. Okay. Just getting a bit of a stretch in real quick as these guys are loading in. Quite the map as well. Got some interesting terrain features. A lot of these kind of scattered dark elf forest, but you look at the ground here, you can see kind of the outline of where you can actually hide your units, and you'll notice that it's all kind of like scattered and disjointed, and it's not, I mean, a lot of these areas you can't actually hide in. A little bit of a troll, but like these guys are just about in, and here we go. So for Bretonia, we've got King Lewin, the Damsel Lore of Life, and Gotrek. For a ground force, Foot Squires, interesting choice, men-at-arms here. We've got some Grail Knights, Defenders of the Fleur-de-Lis, so basically it's a Bretonia build. A couple of Peasant Archers. Yeah, Grail Knights, Knights Errant. It's a Bretonia build. As for the Greenskins, we've got Wurzag here, no surprises there. Arachnar Queen, also a super solid pick in this matchup. Frontline of Savage Orcs. Should be able to lawnmower most of those peasants just fine. Durkat Squigs, great choice as well. Broken Tusk Mob going all in on the RORs here. Orc Error Boys combined with the Rusty Errors. Goblins in the back line. Yeah, this is a Greenskins build as well. Yeah, I don't know. Evidently he hasn't had any issues today, but I don't know, Noob Gamer. That would be cool. I don't know if it's something that... I think because CA, especially when they see a mod like that, they're like, okay, we don't necessarily have to pay someone to do the work for this, because we know that the community will do it for us already, right? So, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, this Greenskins build makes me happy. It's got orcs, it's got goblins, it's got the Great Green Prophet, a big spider. Yeah. Sing the song of your people, Wurzag. You know me, Goji, with my hot takes. Yep. These are both pretty standard builds as to what you would expect for both factions. Nothing too out of the ordinary. I will say, on the Bretonian side, I'm a little bit disappointed not to see a little bit more of a heavy air presence with the Hippogriff Knights. Just the terror and the massive shock damage that you can do is super strong against the Greenskin. Let's get it going. Both armies squaring up, trying to take a position here. The Bretonians may want to try and kind of wheel up and take a high ground position. They probably don't want to engage everything all at once because their peasants are just going to get absolutely destroyed. And granted, Grail Knights are a pretty good counter for Savage Orcs, but he's going to have to be careful. There's these Skulkers here, the Squig Hoppers. Squig Hoppers do a good amount of armor-piercing damage. They don't have the best melee attack, but on the Wa especially, they'll be able to do some okay damage against those Knights. So we'll see. Knights Errant thinking about a charge there, deciding to feint back away from those Durkat Squigs. You can see Gotrek leading the peasants in the frontal charge here. Gotrek, of course, will do quite well fighting in this kind of frontline engagement, but doing some scouting over on the side. Lewin with the Knights Errant here. Oh yeah, Gotrek. He was trying to be a hero. Come on, Gotrek. I thought you were going to charge in all solo there. I guess not. Taking a lot of archer fire from the Greenskins, though, at this point. The Bretonians not really trading in the range department too well here, as the dwarves have a lot of Daka. You can see the peasants trying to fall back, potentially. It looks like they actually then stabilize, hold the line here. We're going to get a nice charge in from the Grail Knights on those Savage Orcs, again, because of the magic damage. Circumventing the physical resistance, they should do a ton of damage there. Oh, man, we get an effigy to get, though. Lewin dives down to intercept those Skulkers, but it does look like they'll still probably be able to get a smoke bomb off. Regardless, though, he's got Sword of Corone, and also could probably get a hold of some of these archers as well, as the peasant archers start to open up and trade very efficiently there. Meanwhile, over on the side here, we've got these Knights Errant coming in, getting a really good charge on those Skulkers, but getting countercharged by the Durkat Squigs and taking a ton of damage as a result. Very, very bad situation for them, and these Grail Knights getting caught up here. They unfortunately looked like they were trying to get back and get a rear charge, but got a little bit caught up there, and you can see the infantry line very quickly for Bretonia crumbling. Those Grail Knights took a ton of damage from that engagement. Looks like the Spider came over and delivered some righteous justice. So Bretonians not looking too good so far, honestly. They've lost out quite a bit of value on these Knights, and like these Knights over here taking some horrible damage from those Squig Hoppers and the Nasty Skulkers. That's just such an inefficient trade there. So I do think Bretonnia went a little bit heavy into the infantry department. Like, I really think, I mean, you're going to lose to the Greenskins infantry no matter what you do, pretty much. So why really go more into that department than what you need to? But we'll see. Still plenty of chances. Grail Knights are getting through. Again, though, they're missing their charges. They keep getting knocked up on the pathing and not actually getting any good charges here, which is a huge, huge issue. Grail Knights, of course, don't honestly have the best combat stats. Only 38-30 on attack and defense. That 78 charge bonus really is what they rely on. So not being able to cycle charge them effectively in this game has definitely cost the Bretonians big time. Spider Hatchling Summon's going to be able to chase a lot of these routing units off. And yeah, just took a little bit of a bad engagement on that side, I think, there. I mean, he did get some really good damage initially with those Grail Knights in. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't see him counter with the healing of the Damsel. Definitely would have been nice to have a regrowth on those guys, or even just an Earthblood. Earthblood, I don't know that it's enough. I might take regrowth instead. But yeah, a nice brain burst there to charge up the whole Greenskins army map-wide. You can see the Foot Squires doing okay against some of these savages, but once they get kind of wrapped up here and surrounded, they're going to obviously have a pretty tough time. Lewin's still going to be fighting as well. Where is he at? He looks like he's over here trying to fight the Broken Tusk Mob and everything, but he actually gets kind of pinned in on the ground as well by the Durkit Squigs. The little Wurzag's going to get in here, and the Queen as well, and yeah, that's pretty much game. With Lewin off the field, there's no way to come back from that whatsoever. So, pretty rough game for Bretonnia overall. I do think that there were some mistakes from a build standpoint, but I mean, he had the tools he needed to. Just, I think he had a couple key misplays there. Bretonians are getting some forces rallying here. You can see they're starting to beat back the savages. Unfortunately, losing Lewin is the biggest thing here. Even if Lewin was able to come back and kind of reunify with some of these forces here, Bretonnia still would have a chance to come back into this game, but those Grail Knights just shattering those Nasty Skulkers, and I don't know, I mean, maybe. Gotrik's still in this fight. The healer's still in this fight. Lewin just got straight up killed, though, which is a huge issue. And the fact that that spider is still completely healthy, I mean, Gotrik's going to have to literally solo that spider, plus the rest of this army. Yeah, a rough situation all around for Bretonnia. I don't think there's much coming back from that. Yeah, a little bit unfortunate there. I do think that the Foot Squires could have been traded out for another unit of Knights Errant. Just would be better here, and just in general, I think, I don't know, I just don't think this build really had what it took. Grail Knights are good, but I would probably change them out for something that's lower model count, that does more damage, like Hippogriff Knights, or even Royal Pegasus Knights as well would have been a good choice here, I think. But it's tough. That spider is definitely a tough combatant. Wurzag also very good here with his tools, so with just Gotrek remaining, that is going to be all she wrote. Should be. Yep, looks like Scripter's going to go ahead and admit defeat there, so yeah, quick 2-0 victory for Crabling there. Good stuff. Nice showcase. Nice Greenskins showcase there. And yeah, really excellent work. The Bretonnian front line, yeah, he just spent way too much, brought way too many units of peasants here. Definitely needed to go heavier into the realm of cavalry. I mean, the Foot Squires did okay, but just think you got to go a little bit more mobile here. Godric's not a bad idea, but I don't know. It's definitely an interesting one. I almost think that specifically because of the leadership effect, you might want to take Alberic in this matchup for the thing there. But anyway, let's go ahead and check in. I guess we could hop in with Turin. Check. I think Aerocrastic's probably in this one already, but let's have a look. Yep, okay, looks like Aero is casting that one already, so we'll go ahead and find another one. Not that. Probably jump in. Is that Flying Taco? Oh no, Taco got eliminated by Crabling. I see. Okay. So in that case, oh, Hadris versus Falcon's going on right now on Falcon's channel. That looks like fun. Try and get in on that one when they're done. Yeah, Imperator actually versus Crabling, it looks like the semifinal game is already ready to go, so I'm gonna go ahead and hop in, and we're gonna get to the semifinals. Yeah, Bretonia's tough. They're one of the toughest factions to win with consistently. I mean, they definitely have very strong tools, don't get me wrong, but cool. Like we've got this. Get this. Ah, good. Good to kind of chillax for a second. A breather. Nice to get sorted. Okay, so corridor here. Grass Hill, Southern Chaos, Waste, Drag Drawn. Apps. Yeah, Hippogriff Knights are strong, but they do require quite a bit of micro. Yep, and you have to also know like what engagements you can and can't take, which is really tricky to know. That's something even I struggle with. Um, like knowing like is this a good engagement to take? Like if I dive down here, am I going to get trapped and killed? Like you know, there's considerations. Requires good decision making and good micro, both of which can be tough. But sorted here, just checking in on the old discords. Like the lads are chilling. Lads are ready, as they say. Not quite, actually. Cool. All right. 110, yeah, we've been pretty consistently like right around 110, 115 Two Devils. So yeah, thanks, man. Thanks for joining. Good to have you here. Yeah, it's pretty good, especially for a multiplayer stream on YouTube. I mean, that's super solid. I'll take it. I'll take it all the way to the bank. And we have had a few pretty generous donations as well. Can't forget, King Ajazal, 2 separate $5 donations. Tamanten coming in with the 20 euros, the 10 euros, and also becoming a channel member as well. So a huge thanks to you guys keeping the dream alive. Yeah, man, it's been fun. Detective Chiller's been chilling the whole time, too, just about, so... Yep. Yes, it is, Tuck. It is a tournament, yep. So if you're curious about the tournament, you can check the bracket here. I'll post this once again in the chat. Follow the link to have a look at the bracket. Turin is currently playing against somebody else on Aerocrastic's stream, so if we have a look here... How is it going, actually? Like they're just about to start their second round, so while you're waiting for this, go ahead and check out Aerocrastic's Twitch if you want to watch Turin fight his quarterfinal match right now. You guys are getting their armies picked. I'll be sure to give you an audio reminder when we're ready to start, but... Now, let's see. What's going on over there? It looks like Turin's got Empire versus... something. Like he brought 2 Pistoliers and a Steam Tank. I'm happy. Oh, he must be up against the High Elves then. Interesting. Looks like these guys are going to go Lizardmen versus Beastmen. That is a very interesting matchup, and Crabling actually going into that Lizardmen matchup with Beast. So yeah, Beastmen versus Lizardmen. This is super interesting for Crabling to pick in. Looks like he's checking something, not finalized. But what unit stat is most important? Well, besides leadership and HP, obvious. I'm gonna say melee attack and defense, kind of as a pair, because miss on an attack, like because of the way attack animations work, you have to roll to hit, right? You miss on an attack animation, that's 0 damage, right? So if you get your opponent to miss, then like armor doesn't matter. A lack of armor, for example, doesn't matter. Why Sisters of Slaughter can be such a tanky unit in melee, because they have such good melee defense. They won't take many hits, so even though they don't have hardly any armor, they have a little bit of physical resistance, not much. They don't end up taking much damage in melee because of that high melee, right? Yeah, melee defense and melee attack kind of as a pair. Melee attack is important as well. Some units, for example, like the Giant, that have really high melee attack, it's important that they have high melee attack because they'll consistently get hits against certain types of targets, right? So armor is kind of secondary to melee attack and defense. It's still important, but it's not as important. Armor is a lot more important for mitigating missile damage than anything else. And it really, like, armor really starts to matter mostly once you get into the upper levels. Like yes, it matters from like 0 to 50 to 60 matters a bit. Like, really it doesn't matter that much until you get like 60 plus, even like 80 plus, I would say. In the 70s range, like, it's okay, but you're still not getting that much information. So, like, I would say 80 and above is where armor starts to actually matter. Yeah, but obviously HP and leadership are the biggest too, right? Because that's the two that keep your unit actually alive and on the... That's why, like, HP is one that's pretty underrated too, like, in just comparing, like, why some monsters are good versus other monsters. Like, one of the reasons why the Mammoth and the Saurian both are so strong is because they have such high HP. Yeah, see, it's an interesting one, because it's I would say, and most people I think would agree, that this matchup is favored, but the Beastmen, I think, because people, like, kind of pick into that, expecting to be countered, and then they therefore bring a good counter build. I think that's kind of what we're seeing there, but it's interesting, certainly. Beastmen, going to be an interesting matchup. I'm curious to see what both players have brought. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and that blocker back down. And here we go. So, for the Lizardmen, got a Feral Carnosaur here. We've got some Cold One Spear Riders, excuse me. A couple of Chameleon Skinks, some Skink Cohort with Jabs, and some Saurus Warriors shields. Looks like 4 of them. So, a fairly straightforward build. Who is the leader? Looks like Mazamundi up on block. So, I mean, I said before, that was a Lizardman build and a Bretonia build. Well, this... Greenskins build. This is a Lizardman build. I mean, this is pretty straightforward. Nothing really too fancy or complex. Just Cold One Spear Riders, Carnosaur, Slock. I mean, this is literally like a patch 1 vanilla army, but yet still so effective. No DLC required. So next time someone says the game is pay to win, just show them this Lizardman build. This is it's pretty good. Pretty good. As for the Beastmen, they're going to be led by, of course, more the Shadow Gave, Brave Shaman Lore of Wild. We've got Korok's Manrippers here, Bestigor Herd, some more Gore Herd, Spearmen. Let's see, a couple of Warhounds, one with poison, one without. I love the Beastmen Warhounds specifically because they're like all fluffy and they look kind of actually like dogs a little bit. Yeah, Centaurs with great weapons, Sons of Goros even over on the side there. So not really seeing where his anti-large AP is unless he does have the Cygor summon. Or did he take something else? Is that Devolve? Traderkin, interesting. So probably going to be trying to use this Traderkin then, just spam that against the large units here. I'm not really sure. I haven't seen it used that much in actions. Two Devil is actually tracking the stats. If you want to go, I believe Two Devil, your stuff you post on the forums, if I remember correctly. But yeah, Two Devil's been tracking the stats of some of the tournament stuff, and he has some pretty interesting like graphs and stuff, charts and so on. But anyway, Looking at the battle here, you can see the Lizardmen are taking a bit of a high ground advantage as they sort of seize the hill here, and the Beastmen aren't really able to do much about it at this point. I mean, granted, they had deployed and tried to take the hill. They have the speed to probably take it first, but didn't necessarily want to just run straight in and, you know, YOLO charge up the hill, right? So, Beastmen player playing very patient, trying to maybe get some units out of position here, just lining it up. But, oh man, these Centaurs are going to have to be careful. The Chameleon Skinks will trade very efficiently there, but the Centaurs might actually just try and charge the Chameleon Skinks in melee. There are Cold One Spear Riders hanging around as well. You can see these throwing axes coming over here. He probably could charge these two Hounds in, these two Skinks on the side, start to kind of wrap them up, get the Infantry Corps moving forward as well, and start to crump on some of these Saurus, because, like, the monster presence and the mobile units are all kind of up on the high ground here, so as the Beastman player, you could come in, start to pick off some of these isolated units, and that's really what you need to do in a situation like this. Beastmen obviously playing very mobile here. Lots of Hounds, lots of Centaurs, so they need to maintain that mobility advantage as much as they can. The Lizardmen continuing to shift their line kind of in response here. Definitely a very commanding kind of high ground position at this point. Gonna be tough for the Beastmen to assault this position, but I mean the infantry advantage obviously goes to the Beastmen initially, but the support with the monsters and everything could turn that around, obviously. Just really not seeing that he has enough burst damage. I mean, even if he uses up all of the ammunition on all of these throwing axes on Mazdamundi, he's still going to be able to heal and sustain through a lot of that damage, so I just don't really see where the anti-large AP is coming through here, but very nice net. Going to hit those poor Centaurs, and here come the dinos riding dinos. Oh yeah, nice downhill charge straight to those Centaurs. Going to be absolutely wrecking them. That is an 800-point unit as well, so definitely not a cheap loss by any means. But you can see the Beastman assault has started on other fronts. Bray Shaman coming forward. It looks like a Traderkin. Let's see how much damage this does. Nothing. 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 It did a tick of damage. It did another tick. Okay, so it did a tiny bit of damage. I'm really not sold on that spell. That is a very, very interesting pick. I'm not sure if that was actually a mispick or if he meant to take the Cygor summon instead, but anyway. You can see here the Beastmen are assaulting uphill. The Goreherds will trade not that great against Saurus. They'll do okay, but it's definitely going to be a pretty knockdown, drag-out fight. The best score are doing also decently well here, but actually kind of getting crumped on by Saurus a little bit as they're having to fight two units at the same time. But yeah, no surprises. The Lizardmen infantry kind of getting cut up by the Beastmen at this point, but Carnosaur still completely healthy, can come in, get some good support. Mazamundi up on the high ground as well with that Shield of the Old Ones. He's running from Morgr in his squad here. This is actually pretty dangerous. Morgr and the Gorox Man-Rippers. He's also got the summoned Chaos Spawn online as well, trying to get on Mazdamundi, so things are looking a bit dicey. A nice catch in the back line as well. Harmonic Convergence on those Cold One Spear Riders, but they still are going to get taken out by those Sons of Goros there. Although they are holding up very well, actually, with that Harmonic Convergence there. And Apotheosis as well, just trying to keep them fighting still. And man, that Harmonic Convergence is lasting a long time. Really juiced up their stats. But once that wears off, yeah, then they should start to go down to the Sons of Goros there. Nice trade, though, with that magic. They actually traded really nicely in terms of value there. And the Lizardmen starting to get some good routes. They did a ton of damage to that Bray Shaman. Terrified him away there. Morgr is a little bit isolated now. Koroks Man-Rippers, though, are going to be able to get in and get some good attacks, potentially. Very nice Curse of the Midnight Wind to sunder the armor of these Bestigor and also to decrease their melee attack. But you can see Mazdamundi is actually taking quite a bit of burst damage, and all of these Centaurs being together, all unified, throwing their axes at once is a big problem. But, of course, Mazdamundi has that trickle of Apotheosis. He can keep himself relatively healthy as long as he doesn't take too much burst damage here. But, yeah. Trying to squeak away there, trying to get up into the protection of some of these skinks, and it does look like he will be able to escape there. Another Traderkin, though. Is that going to be... maybe he's using it mostly for the speed debuff at this point, so that his chariot can actually catch Mazdamundi. Interesting. Mazdamundi actually does get routed there, so maybe the Beastmen have a chance. They actually are making a pretty nice push here. This Carnosaur getting a little bit isolated, actually not doing that great against Morgr because of Morgr's stats. And also these Saurus Warriors getting beat down pretty hard by the summoned Chaos Spawn. So, I don't know. Maybe the Beastmen can actually pull this one out here. If Mazdamundi comes back from route, though, that is going to be a problem. He really needs to find some kind of resources to allocate to chase Mazdamundi off the field, and it does look like the Sons of Goros are going to be allocated exactly to that, understanding that Mazdamundi is the key win condition here. If he's off the field, then it's probably pretty likely that the Beastmen will win. I mean, obviously, still the Carnosaur left to deal with. Looks like he manages to rout off that Brave Shaman one more time. But yeah, Mazdamundi now caught up by the Sons of Goros, and it does look like the Centaurs are still going to be expending ammo to try and actually finish off Mazdamundi here. Which, you know, some people would question that. You say he's already routing, you know, why expend the extra ammo? But if you can actually kill Mazdamundi, then obviously that does a much greater leadership effect. You can see he is taking little hits of damage, though, as he flees from those Sons of Goros. So just them alone probably will be able to finish him off at this point. Yeah, getting below 200 HP there. So meanwhile, in the main fight, the Carnosaur, the Chaos Summoned Spawn do run out there, unfortunately, and he does have the support of some Cold One Spear Riders here, cleaning up those Ungor Spearmen herd. A lot of the Beastmen infantry getting pretty low on HP at this point, and I can't imagine those Koroks Man Rippers are going to be too happy about getting rear charged here by a Carnosaur, potentially. Could run into some serious leadership issues here, but we'll see. Mazdamundi just went down. Those throwing axes providing some more Overwatch fire here. And yeah, Koroks, Man Rippers, Gore Herd, everyone just immediately gets terrified by the big scary Carnosaur. No surprises there. But Sora is still fighting over here on the low ground. Brave Shaman can come over, start to regenerate his Jagged Dagger a little bit here. Maybe get a couple good attacks, help rout those Soras potentially, maybe? Possibly? Oh man, this is huge though. The Feral Carnosaur actually routs here. I'm not really sure what the leadership effects were that led to that, but the Feral Carnosaur being gone is massive. If he doesn't come back from rout, I think that's pretty much game for Beastman's favor. But yeah, you know, I was questioning, but I guess just the focus fire from those throwing axes ended up being enough there with Mazdamundi, with the Koroks Man Rippers, you know, everything kind of combining in a very kind of disadvantageous situation for Mazda there. But Lizardmen are still not out of this. You can see the Carnosaur did come back from rout, and the Beastmen are just getting low on stuff in general. If Morkur takes too much damage from the Carnosaur here, then that's gonna be game over. Carnosaur, though, doesn't have the best stats. He does have a good charge bonus, but he really needs to rely on that charge bonus and try and cycle charge Morkur. Definitely doesn't want to stay in sustained combat like this, although he is getting a few really nice hits in. Oh yeah, maybe he wants to stay in sustained combat. It's all RNG kind of when single entity models are fighting, just because there's, you know, one attack animation, right? But oh man, the Carnosaur actually gets routed off once again here by the nice rear charge there from the Centaurs, and the Brave Shaman coming in as well. So maybe the Beastman will be able to stabilize. It looked like the Lizardman maybe had a way back into the game there with that Carnosaur, but just staying in that engagement a little bit over long, and it does look like the Beastmen take it. So wow. Wow. That was wild. Yeah, the Feral Carnosaur, the leadership issues ended up being a bit of a problem there at the end of the day, but that's the key. And I remember earlier I pointed out that he wanted to specifically kill Mazdamundi rather than just chase him off the battlefield, and that's why, because it's a much greater leadership effect if you actually kill your opponent, as opposed to just rout them off. Both will damage your opponent's leadership, just map-wide, but it's a stronger debuff if you actually finish their lord off. So, yeah, GG, well played. Well played. That was quite the battle. Good stuff. Get the screen blocker popped back up. With some other things here. Looks like if we have a look at the bracket. Yeah, Falcon and Hadris still fighting. Oh man, that's gotta be a great one. Probably gonna go watch that. Assuming Falcon's actually streaming. Watch on his channel. That was a good. Yeah, the Lizardmen into the Beastmen. I find the Beastmen players, they just because again they're so focused on that matchup, they know it's one of their tough ones. They have builds prepared. Yeah, that Lizardman build just didn't quite have enough at the end of it. Kind of got Mazdamundi caught out there a little, and ended up being a pretty big mistake. But I was surprised. I was really not thinking that the Beastmen had that much burst damage on the table. But I guess three to four units of throwing axes is a lot of burst damage, certainly. I don't really use the official forums. Like, I have an account, but the way I see it is I have my own platform here, and I have other ways of communicating with CA other than on the forums. So yeah, I primarily, like, if I want to interact with people in the community, I'll use Discord. If I want to, voice my opinion, I'll use my channel. If I want to give feedback to CA, I'll use back channel communications that I have with them. So there's not really a lot of like that. There's not really a lot of reason for the forums. So yeah. Yeah, I saw that, Sioux Devil's been compiling that faction win rate data. It's very interesting. And, I mean, granted, it's a pretty small sample size because it is tournaments, but still, I think to kind of extrapolate from that. Try and talk about different trends. It's like Beastmen versus Lizardmen, for example. A lot of people, and myself included, would say that that's in Lizardmen's favor, but then why do the Beastmen have such a high win rate, right? So then that's me thinking about, like, okay, Beastmen players are probably going into that matchup very prepared because they know it's one of their tough matchups. They have a build prepared, like they practiced it probably a few times. Whereas the Lizardman player, you might get a little bit complacent and say, like, oh yeah, this is going to be an easy for me. Maybe not, not be 100% for that game. Kind of interesting to think about. Yeah, it's super interesting to see how matchups play out in tourneys. And one thing, too, that the faction data doesn't show is playstyle, and that's something not really definable. But, like, for example, like, Falcon playing Greenskins, or Falcon playing Lizardmen, rather, is going to look pretty different than myself playing Lizardmen. Or, Yalanala playing Lizardmen, very different Falcon, or, like, there's playstyle and how specific players match up against each other also is a pretty big variable as well. So there are a lot of variables, but that's what makes it interesting to talk about, at least in my opinion. Like, trying to figure out, like, okay, why, like, we know it's a small sample size, but if this matchup is perceived as one way, but yet in tournaments we see it playing out in another way pretty consistently, think about why that is. Try and talk about it, extrapolate, come up with theories and ideas. Not really super scientific, but... What else have a big win rate versus Bretonnia? Yeah, because of Xiphos, yeah. And again, it's one of those matchups that, like, the Wood Elf player goes in with a very specific build, very specific intention, and if Bretonians, they're complacent, then they definitely get surprised. Here, like Turin and Chosen One are on to their game too. I believe Turin took the first game. Yeah? Yeah, the Steam tank saved it. But I'm glad. I kind of wish I would have got that series on the channel, but it's all good. Great for Aerocrastic. Yeah, I'm a little far away. I need to be sitting a little closer. I'm kind of leaning back. But, yes. Yeah, I set up this new setting on OBS, and it kind of, if I'm, like, too far away, then it cuts out the mic feed, so. So I'm probably not going to have time to cast the finals, just with how things are going right now. After this series, I might hand it off to Aerocrastic, depending on how many series there are left. Like, if there's just, because this is the semi-final, right? Whoever wins this is going to the final. And then Aerocrastic then going to be casting the finals. And as for the semis, I mean, assuming we all get done around about the same time, which is what it's looking like, most likely, then Aerocrastic will be just going from semis straight into the finals, so I'll probably hand you guys off to him at that point, but we'll see. Might be able to get in a handful more games. Pays to be Dov. Largest stream of today's tournament. Well, how about that, huh? Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Yeah, we did good today. Pretty consistent, like 110, 115 viewers. Faction with the least magic. Ooh, that's interesting. Actually, probably Bretonnia or the Wood Elves. They only have 3 lores of magic, which is really rough. I mean, like, even Norska has more than that, right? They have 4. Chaos has 4, right? You have Shadows, Fire, Death. Fire, Death. What am I missing? Oh, Metal, that's right. Yeah, Dwarfs, obviously, but besides Dwarfs. Yeah, exactly. Saying Dwarfs would be a little bit of a cop-out, exactly. Tomb Kings, yeah, Tomb Kings only have 3 as well. That is true. But they have their own unique lore. Any of the factions that only have their own unique lores, okay, so got that all sorted. Yeah, Greenskins have 3. I mean, Death, technically, yes, and then they're 2. Skaven only have 2, but again, they have both unique lores, both very strong unique lores as well, because you have summons and, I mean, Warp Lightning and stuff. So, yeah, as far as, like, factions with access to the common lores, I'm going to say Bretonnia. And Wood Elves, because Wood Elves only has Beasts, Life, and Shadows. Bretonnia only has Beasts, Life, and Heavens. Against, no, because against, oh, I thought you were meaning more lores of magic. In terms of magic attacks, no. Both Wood Elves and Bretonnia have access to a lot of magic attacks. All tree units do magic damage. You have a number of ranged units that also do magic damage. On Bretonnia's side, like, all of your Grail tier units do magic damage. Knights the Lion-Hearted. You got the Holy Wardens of La Maison Tall. Yeah, Bretonnia. I honestly would love to see Bretonnia get Lore of Light. I know that would be really, really strong for them to have access to, like, nets, and especially Barona's Time Warp, because, like, Barona's Time Warp, a giant cav blob on the charge, would be absolutely incredible. Just super, super. But shouldn't the Wood Elves have high and dark magic as well? I don't know. I'm not familiar enough with the lore to really determine yes or no on that one, but oh, looks like Hadris was able to prevail 2-0 over Felcon, so whoever wins out of Turin and Chosen One will be fighting Hadris, and it looks like Turin is currently vampire counts against Dark Elves, so interesting. But we are ready to get started here, so let's go ahead and pop the screen blocker down. Go. Occam's Mindrazor. The thing about Occam's Mindrazor is it's really expensive for what it gives you. I mean, a 40% weapon damage is really strong, don't get me wrong, especially on certain units. Like, you put that on a giant, it's going to go up to ridiculous levels of weapon strength, like what, 800 plus weapon strength. But yeah, because earlier what I talked about, melee attack and defense are the most important stats. That's why you don't see the weapon strength specific buffs very much. Like Flaming Sword of Ruin you see specifically for the fire damage, but Occam's Mindrazor, because it's a little bit more expensive, it doesn't have any melee attack component. It's purely a weapon strength buff. Like, you just don't see it that often because the melee attack and defense buffs and debuffs are the more impactful ones. But yeah, let's take a look here. We've got an Empire build. Jade Wizard and an Archlector leading the way. Absolutely love it. We've got a Demi-Blob here, 3 Demis, including, no Althor Griffites. We do have Empire Knights, though. Plenty of infantry, and a Steam Tank. A glorious, glorious Steam Tank. So, I can now officially end the stream happy after this series, because we got a Steam Tank battle in, guys. As for the High Elves, Star Dragon, no surprises there. Alariel the Radiant, we've got some archers. The Fireborn, very interesting. White Lions in the front line along with some Spearmen and a Noble on horseback. So, very interesting, straightforward build. But, and the cannon. Yeah, I thought he was going to nope out of there real quick from that Star Dragon. But, probably wants to just shoot the Star Dragon, to be honest. Or no, yeah, no, shoot the Fireborn, absolutely. Because you can kill models on these guys very quickly. Just only one model there, but did it actually kill an archer as well? Yes, it actually did kill an archer as well. But yeah, I mean, the Star Dragon you can't kill models on, right? Because it's only one, so... This is a bit risky, though, having the steam tank out so far forward here, and it's, yeah, exactly. Pull back to the Demigryph Knight support, make sure you stay nice and tight there. And it's going to be interesting, this Empire infantry force, obviously Swordsmen will trade well with the Spearmen, the White Lions are going to be a bit of a problem. This is one matchup specifically where I think White Lions are pretty decent. And, yeah. A nice steam tank shot. That time took out quite a few models there. Good, like, what, 4 models? So, steam tank can continue to fire in all day and just generate tons and tons of value. And that's nice. It's going to be tricky, though. Oh, the Star Dragon probably going to drop down. All the Demigryph Knights are kind of sweeping up in here. You can see the Fireborn not wanting to take a direct charge here. But, oh, man, these Empire Knights, ooh, yeah, they needed to turn around there. Try and feint a charge. It's kind of like who can feint their opponent into a bad engagement first, right? That's kind of the name of the game here in this situation. So this keep in mind though, all the while the steam tank is cutting models down off of these Fireborn. So this is really not an efficient trade at all for the High Elves here. In fact, they're actually taking a lot of unnecessary damage. But I thought we were maybe going to get an engagement there. It does look like one unit of Demigryph Knights maybe almost charges in. Finally, I think the Fireborn are going to get caught out here by the Demi-Blob, and you can see the High Elf infantry advancing quite a bit as well, but now the Demi is going to be countercharging in. We've got healing on both sides going down. Obviously, Star of Avalorn there for Alariel, trying to keep these Fireborn online. Also dumps a Foz protection there as well. You can see the, oh man, are those Demis that just got wrecked there? Yeah, Demigryph Knights just got absolutely destroyed there. And despite the battle prayers, really not doing a whole lot of damage because of the healing of Alariel there. So you can see there, these Demigryph Knights also charge in from the side. And the Star Dragon's now going to drop down, start to also solo those Demis. So we'll see in that monster fight. I don't think that the Demis are really going to be enough to win out there. They're taking quite a bit of damage already. But yeah, see, another unit of Demigryph Knights once again coming in. He's been able to keep them all kind of separated, not blobbing up too much. He's able to rear charge here, although, yeah, I don't know. The steam tank honestly should come in and try and side charge the Star Dragon. I know it sounds crazy, but the steam tank has a lot of charge bonus. Or he could also do this, which is to do a bunch of damage to Alariel. But very nice bombardment there. Soulfire from the Archlector to help deal with some of these kind of more chaffy units for the High Elves here. You can see the Terror Route also coming in, going to clear out quite a few of those units as well. So we'll see. The Empire Healer going to be bullied a little bit by Alariel. Shield of Thorns from her, going to be buffing up the High Elves. And yeah, unfortunately the Jade Wizard did get routed off there. But here, very key engagement. The Empire Knights able to get back into the back line here, start to wreck through some of these Empire Archers. Sorry, the High Elf Archers, rather. The Fireborn getting chased off there is bad, but oh man, this is also really bad. Losing the Archlector and all these Demigryph Knights, just not enough stopping power to take down this Star Dragon. You can see the Demis kind of getting routed off there. Yeah, all 3 of those units ended up getting routed. Very unfortunate situation, but we'll see. That blob fight just wasn't really in the Empire's favor at the end of the day, although it looked pretty good. The Pure Main Company, the fact that they were saturated in there, kind of sundering armor and getting extra hits, and the Fireborn and everything, and just having a Star Dragon land on your head is always going to be tough, so you really have to be careful about where and when that thing's going to come down. But at this point, Archlector is desperately just trying to stay alive here and not get killed by the Star Dragon, but oh, that attack will do it, and there he goes. That's probably going to be the end of this Empire build. We'll see. I mean, the Steam Tank is still online, but I do think that the Steam Tank is going to fall pretty quickly to the Star Dragon there. Yeah, it really doesn't have the tools at this point to take down. I mean, he just does have one unit of Empire Knights, plenty of Empire Infantry as well. They've been able to actually trade reasonably well all across the field, but yeah, losing all those Demis like that was a really, really rough engagement. And the Star Dragon, I mean, the Demis you would think would be enough to take him on in melee, but with the buffs going like that, and I mean, there was just too much high elf stuff kind of centered in that pocket. The Dragonborn ended up being a big target, and they ended up getting completely wrecked. But they were very much a distraction piece that the Star Dragon was sort of just using as bait, right, to try and force that engagement there. So, yeah, Crabling going to be moving on to the finals. Yeah, too bad. Empire didn't quite take home a win there, but it looks like if we have a look at Aerocrastic's stream here, I believe Turin is going to prevail as the Counts versus the Dark Elves, which means he's going to be taking on Hadriz in the semi-final. So I'm going to go ahead and call it here for today for myself. If you want to watch the semifinals and the finals, be sure to check out Aerocrastic's Twitch channel. I'll be just spamming a link here in chat now, so you guys go give him some love from me. Tell him I said hi if you haven't been chatting away there already, and we'll let him kind of take things home from here. So, yeah, big thanks once again for joining, everyone. Been a huge pleasure. Once again, big shout out to King Agazal and Tamoten for the generous donations. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Sudevil, as well, for tracking all the stats and everything. And also, of course, a huge thanks to Aerocrastic for putting the whole thing together. And we will see you guys next time. Bye now.